The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink!
Stunner!
Damn it!
Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Lucas Oil Stadium in beautiful Indianapolis, Indiana, the forever home, hopefully, of the Combine. Day 2 here starts right now.
Combine!
Is what the topic of conversation is, not only here in Indianapolis, all around the NFL, but also on the internet. There was an altercation at a Starbucks here in Indianapolis yesterday that has certainly caught some headlines. We'll address that and let you know what we have heard between two insiders who both wanted the same coffee. One of the insiders owns the coffee. The other one was merely there having a meeting supporting the other's father, and allegedly there's some disagreements that all the way led up to a call to NFL security. So there's an investigation happening currently about a Starbucks that happened with a couple of media members, but that's what Combine is, baby. It is an NFL spring break where so many things happen, not only with the D-line and the linebackers that are going to be working out on the field today, or the kickers and punters and snappers that worked out on the field yesterday that was not to be televised, even though I was told it was televised. I ended the show early to go host it on television, I thought. That seemed to be a miscommunication somewhere. It wasn't findable, but there is clips everywhere, which is so cool to be able to talk to future punters and kickers and holders. I very rarely get to do that. I don't go to a lot of kicking camps anymore, although I have friends at like the Coles and Nick Novak, I believe, out in San Diego, former NFL great. He does these kicking camps. I don't really get to hang around the kicking community much anymore. And going to those kicking camps is always fun because you're just watching these dudes hit these bombs. You know, it's a home run derby basically, and guys are competing against each other. You're able to go there. I think it is a spectacle, or could become a spectacle, and the NFL agrees. And they've had this showcase together the last 2 years that pins kickers against each other and punters against each other. It was a great day. I was lucky to be a part of it. Certainly thought I was going to be hosting the thing.
Sure.
And when I got down there, that was a piece of information I was finding out in real time. So instead of like having to host or do any of that, I just got a chance to enjoy it and chit chat with these guys and try to give some game and maybe some motivation and some help. So the Combine is a beautiful place. A lot of things happen. A lot of information is learned. A lot of players change their careers. Maybe even franchises change the trajectory of their entire city. And we're so incredibly lucky to be here. We got great guests throughout the day. Rich Eisen, Daniel Jeremiah will be joining us here in a matter of moments. They are obviously the hosts of the actual Combine on the field. The two people with microphones. DJ now, the previous person that held his seat, went on to be a general manager in the NFL because of how much work and effort and intel and intelligence you have to have that particular role. We'll be excited to pepper him with questions. And it's not just, the show today, and we are incredibly bummed that one half of the Toxic Table is not able to join us today. We would like to send our love to Ty Schmidt.
T's and B's.
We'll see you hopefully.
Miss you, Ty.
Love you, Ty. Love you, Ty. But let's go to the Toxic Table, ladies and gentlemen, at Boston Connor and Mad Mel Kiper making an appearance. Thank you for stepping in for Ty, who obviously had that late thing this morning. You look great. You look like you're in maybe mid-season form right now.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Pat. Always great to join you guys. Combine week. I want to go out and say, it's kind of like my conference championship weekend. Obviously, the NFL draft is going to be the Super Bowl, but conference championship weekend, nothing better than, a weekend in Indy. Not only do we have fights between insiders, which we'll talk about that.
What are your thoughts on that, Matt? Now, because you've been coming here a long time, so you understand.
Absolutely long time. Well, you get a young pup like Jordan Schultz, who, he's trying to really put his stamp on the game. Apparently, Ian Rapaport, well-respected in the industry, has a lot of sources, a lot of people he's trying to talk to an agent, goes up to a counter at a local Starbucks, had like a venti caramel macchiato, or, I believe is what he ordered.
With Splenda, I believe.
Yeah, with Splenda, a couple Splenda. It could be a sweet and low. Can't exactly remember what kind of, zero-calorie sweetener he decided to go with. Jordan Schultz steps in and says, no, he won't have a venti. So Rap Sheet says, Okay, I'll have a grande, caramel macchiato. No, he won't. No, you won't have one of those. All right, I'll take a tall, and, we'll be done with this. I'll get out of there. Jordo Schultz, again, this is according to my sources. I wasn't boots on
Allegedly.
the ground. Allegedly.
Much like what's going on at a university in Mississippi.
Sure.
Just like we said yesterday.
Well said.
There was the grandstanding police hopped out on their high horses. I don't know if you
saw that.
Yeah, it was good to see.
Fun.
We weren't even a full show back, and we called them out. Hoo-dee-hoo, almost. For them, an hour and a half into the program yesterday. It was great. But what we're saying is this is all alleged, but certainly with some people talking about some realities.
Yeah, without a doubt. So he said, no, you're not going to have any coffee. Not in my house. Okay? You've been saying a lot of shit about me. You've been refuting a lot of the stuff that I've been saying. He said, water only for this guy. Rap Sheet gets a small, plastic cup of water.
Because Jordo Schultz's dad, obviously.
He owns Starbucks.
Yeah.
Jordo Schultz is the heir to the Starbucks empire, if you will. Mm-hmm. He smacks the water out of his hands and says, fucking do something about it, Rap. Do something. Get in my fucking face. Do it. He, according to Pro Football Talk, he said fuck about 15 times.
At least.
In his dad's cafe?
Dad's cafe, you could...
Well, and then he refuted that report.
Well, he did, but,
I wouldn't swear in my dad's passion project.
Dad's Cafe, or you could even take that as far as say, Rap Sheet basically disrespected this guy in his own living room. He said, you're going to come in here with mud on your shoes and walk through my living room.
Put his balls on his table.
Exactly. Jordo Schultz smacked him around a little bit, allegedly.
He's in his kitchen making pancakes, is that?
Yeah. Cooking bacon in his underwear.
Yeah, there it is.
Exactly.
That's basically what was happening.
Shout out Danny Sansucci or whatever.
Still bringing it.
Yeah, still bringing it. And then obviously Rap Sheet, he said, listen, enough is enough. I feel threatened here. This guy's got crazy eyes right now. I'm going to have to call NFL security. NFL security came up. I don't know what eventually happened. I think they took Jordo Schultz out back, beat the shit out of him with a couple lead pipes.
Behind his dad's house?
Exactly.
Yeah, they called him Big Dom. They called him Big Dom, yeah.
Well,
Big Dom don't do that.
The arrow.
Big Dom is a handshaker.
You never know.
He's not an ankle breaker.
But I don't know if this is breaking news or not, but I believe today, after the men kind of go through the drills on the field, Jordo Schultz and Ian Rapaport are going to fight to the death at the 50-yard line.
That's Combine.
That'll be fun.
That's Combine. And for those that are new to the show, we're not 100% sure if that's going to happen. That's just all being
that's
alleged at the moment. Yeah. There's a chance one of these people clip the end of that.
Sure.
Say, on ESPN, it is being reported by a man wearing a purple suit.
Great suit.
Saw Nick Casario wearing purple yesterday. I said, God damn, that looks good. I'm going to wear that tomorrow.
We don't know if they're fighting to death, but should. Maybe.
They want
but we don't want them to die.
Not?
We don't want either of them to die. We want them to shake hands. One half of the hammer. Dahn. Cowboys Tone Diggs is here. And ladies and gentlemen, the face of the Indiana Pacers who just had to sit through all of that. Sorry.
I'm just learning about it.
It happened at Starbucks here in your town. Ladies and gentlemen, Olympic gold medalist, face of the NBA.
Well.
I put you in a terrible spot there. Tyrese Haliburton.
Yeah, Tyrese. We are doing the face of the NBA conversation.
Yeah, no, we are not going to do that. That is earned, obviously. That happens naturally. That is not something you give to yourself. Tyrese, fresh off a 33, 11, and 3 night. Obviously, the 11 assists, 3 rebounds. Need to get those up a little bit. I think you could probably had a triple-double if your groin was healthy. You went into the game questionable, hurt groin. 50-50, questionable going into the game. Everything we know about NBA is what?
They're going to sit out.
Mad Mel?
They're going to sit out.
Con Man?
They are going to sit out and get paid.
Especially in the middle of the season. How much money they're getting paid. 82 of these things. Hurt groin. Tyrese Haliburton says, I'm playing. Big game. We're in the middle of a hell of a stretch. We're top 4 hottest team in the NBA right now. One of the best records in 2025. Oh, must I remind you, Eastern Conference finalists last year as Tyrese pulls up from the other side of the court. How do you feel about the team? And thank you for playing through a groin injury or groin, whatever you had going on. You're the man. We appreciate you here in Indiana.
Yeah, we're playing well right now. We're just fighting to get home court advantage in the playoffs in the first round. So every game is big right now. So we're trying to win every game.
Okay, so a lot of people watching our show right now are going to say, are at the NFL Combine, why are we talking about the NBA? Do you think that is a natural conversation that's happening? Like, do you guys talk about the NBA, where it sits in the zeitgeist of professional sports? Do you have any of those convos amongst each other?
No, we know who we are. We don't really trip off that. I mean, we understand. I understand. I'm here at a football program. We talk about a lot of sports, but
a
lot of sports program.
Yeah.
This is a sports program, but
no, we're a sports program. Remember
that? Sports program, heavy football.
Yeah, football.
Heavy on football first. Maybe a little bit of hockey.
Okay, we do like the hockey.
Yeah,
we do like
maybe
the
a little
hockey.
bit of hockey.
Hockey is awesome.
Yeah, because they try.
See, that's the narrative. Why is that the narrative?
PK Subban.
Yeah, I think it's Subban, but
Subban plays.
whatever.
Subban.
I did see that he put over the NHL in a big way, and it got a lot of views. And he was talking about the NBA's potential culture issue that they have.
Yeah.
You guys obviously all saw that. He was putting over his sport, but I think he said a lot of things that maybe other people potentially think, which is why it went so big. How do you feel about the narrative that is about the NBA? Because groin, whatever. I don't want to know what your injury was. Groin strain, can I say?
I was going to say groin soreness more than anything.
Yeah, but it don't just get sore in your groin without.
Strain makes the narrative better, so we'll go with strain.
Well, it has to.
We
there
could
has
say
to
it was
be.
torn off the bone and you played through it.
Correct, yeah.
33 through it.
Yeah, I can't believe this guy's got one half of a groin now. Lance Armstrong of groins, because he lost one half of his groin, which is crazy to think about. Played through it last night. But why do you think the narrative is that? Like, legitimately, because you disagree with that wholeheartedly, I think. Anytime we call you, you're like, that's not true about our league, though. Like,
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of things, maybe misconception about the league that you disagree with.
Oh, 100%. I mean, people are just allowed to get on there and say whatever they want about our game, and it just takes one or two people to agree, hit retweet, and it's like the cool thing to say the NBA has a problem with what we do. But, we're doing pretty well for ourselves, I'd say.
I would say as well. And I
Too
think
well,
as
some would
that is what people are saying. It's like this much money, and then we're not going back-to-back nights. And then obviously back in the day, these guys used to play. And then there's the nostalgia speech that's happening too. You're hearing all these things, I assume.
Yeah, for sure. All the talk about what the All-Star game has become and how that's such a problem. And, you guys love the sitting back-to-backs. I don't think that's as true as
LeBron put it on Instagram.
So I think what Tyrese is saying is like that gets a couple people are doing that. And everybody assumes that is
now
across
it's generalized.
Yes, it's like the whole league's doing it. That's not the case.
Yeah, 100%. We talk about this all the time. I agree with that 100%. Guys want to play. We want to perform. We got older guys who are towards the end of their careers, high-level Hall of Fame guys. We got a lot of young guys coming up in the league too. So I think we all want to play.
How's quality of play right now? Obviously, All-Star game is what it is. Pro Bowl is what it is too. I mean, there's
Pro Bowl stinks.
The NHL got it right with 4 nations. It just so happened to be at the exact same time as yours, so it went absolutely bonkers in that entire thing. But whenever you talk about quality of play, how do you feel about it? Because like football, guys are throwing the ball better, catching the ball better, running the ball better, seeing the ball better, blocking the ball better, tackling the ball. Like everything is better. That's sports.
Yeah.
Kicking the ball better. I mean, you evolve through everything. Do you feel like that has happened with the NBA? Because my argument about LeBron Jordan is always that they play 2 different sports. I'm not a basketball guy. Football stooge. Watch the Late Show growing up because I was an Insomniac kid. They were on late night. Kobe, Shaq. I mean, it was an entire thing. Don't know the league inside and out. But when I watched that Last Dance with Michael Jordan and I saw some of the highlights that were happening, I was like, hold the phone now. Like, I didn't watch basketball back then. I'm from Pittsburgh, okay? Wasn't like all the way in on. It's like the sport has evolved so much. It's tough to compare. I think both would play well in both eras if they were to be talked about. But how do you feel about the current state of the game in the NBA?
Well, that conversation's interesting, right? Because when you compare eras all the time, I feel like football, you don't really do that. Like, you guys don't really talk about how this guy would fit if he played in the 90s. Like, that's not a conversation.
It's not a normal convo, but like Dan Marino modern day would be
but it's
outrageous.
But the same in any sport. Top guys are going to continue to be top guys throughout eras. But, I mean, time travel doesn't exist. And
you don't know
maybe.
that.
We don't know.
Let's not get into that.
Not that I know of.
These portals.
Not that I've been in front of yet. Hopefully one day.
Yeah, amen.
There's a lot of old heads I guess I have things to say about me. So.
After your next contract, they'll introduce you to it.
I heard about that. I think that's a potential Haliburton thing, not just Tyrese, right? That old heads that have a lot to say.
Oh, yeah.
Family business, if you will.
Yeah, a lot of Mad Mel.
Like Ole Miss.
Mad Mel, do you have a question for Tyrese? So the quality of play, though.
I think it's up. I think just like any sport, I think guys make shots at a higher level. We got so many guys who shoot the 3 well, can do so many different things well. But it's just, again, it's easy to create a narrative that we all play the same. Everybody shoots too many threes.
You do.
The league is, that's not true. That's not true. The league is a copycat league, right?
Just like the NFL is.
When a team wins a championship, teams are going to start to play more like them. So in the last decade, the Warriors won a championship. How'd they do that? They shot a lot of threes, made a lot of jumpers. So teams want to do that. Now Boston's won a championship. They got 5 guys on the floor at all times that can shoot threes. So more teams, we got to shoot more threes to keep up with what they do.
So you think that this is actually a decision trying to win, like competitive juices are making these decisions, just like in the NFL. Like right now, the Eagles just won. Pounded football.
Right.
Saquon is the show.
Right.
Like AJ, obviously incredible. Devontae, phenomenal. They help with the box, obviously, because you can't bring absolutely everybody. But it's ground and pound football over there.
Yeah,
that's how they play.
People are trying to win championships, so it's the same. Like,
but the amount of people that are going to now do that because of the success that they're having.
But like in the early 2000s, right? Like in Shaq's dominating, teams are trying to get 3-4 centers because they know they're going to need all of them to go foul him and try to stay in front and do their best. You got to try to keep up with the championship team. So Boston wins the most. They won a championship last year. They shot plenty threes. You can't play them and shoot all twos and expect to win that game. It's just math is not gonna work there. So you got to shoot more threes. That's how it's gonna be.
So everybody's trying to chase the top, and that's how it kind of get to that point. And he called out Boston, so I know Connor will get to his point. Mad Mel, eager to ask a question.
Yeah, just curious. Do you think, we talk about everything with the NBA right now and how guys are maybe, I don't want to say entitled, but you guys make a shitload of money. And I'm like, listen, you earned that money.
Way to go, Tyrese. Proud of you. Right, change your life.
Gold medals.
Do you think, though, when Luka gets traded, is that kind of a wake-up call for the entire league? Like, hey, maybe shit ain't sweet, okay? Like, this guy's, a future, a top 5 player in the NBA. And out of nowhere, literally out of nowhere, he gets traded. Did that send kind of a shockwave across the league? Like, okay, maybe I can't be sitting out back-to-backs anymore because if this guy can get traded, I sure as hell can get traded as well.
I mean, I feel like we all operate that way on a daily basis. I think the Luka thing might have been eye-opening that nobody's really safe. Everybody can be traded, and I think you see trades happen every year, but you don't see them to that magnitude where top 10 player gets traded for another top 10 player. That's very uncommon. So definitely came as a surprise to the NBA world, but. I think people understand what comes with the business, and everybody's going to be fine where they are.
You've been traded, and we're very thankful for it. Like here in Indianapolis, I will say the way you go about leading the Pacers is so good for this city. Like I think you're perfect for this city. Do you agree with that?
I appreciate. Yeah, I love it here. I'm a Midwest guy, so I feel like I fit in very well here.
Yeah, but you also got the flash too, like
flair.
Yeah, you do got the flair too. I like it. You're a showman.
I appreciate that. It's good. I'm a fan of small market teams being good. I think that's good for the league. It's cool.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Sure.
Yeah, it is. Now let's on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. Boston Connor has a question.
Yeah, you mentioned the NBA champs, Boston Celtics, and I think we can all agree no one's beating them in 7 again. They're looking at it back to back.
I don't agree with that.
I think most of us can agree that that's probably the case. And one of the biggest things we've talked about here is kind of the face of the league, and Jason Tatum, who is turning 27, I believe, already an NBA champ. He's the only American last year who was first-team All-NBA, and he gets the most hate by far out of any of the superstars, it feels like, who doesn't really deserve it. Obviously, there's some guys that, people have problems with, Embiid and things of that nature, but that's mostly because they don't play. Tatum's one of those guys that does not sit out back-to-back.
Didn't play, right, in the Olympics?
And to the Olympic point, I kind of think the reason that Jason Tatum doesn't get that much love is because Steve Kerr. And Steve Kerr is the problem for many, many reasons, the things that he does and, talks about and appears on, but mostly I think because Tatum didn't get that USA push. We just saw with the Four Nations Cup, the Kachuk brothers are 2 of the faces of the NHL now, and I think a lot of people didn't like them before the Four Nations. And now they're kind of the golden boys of the NHL, and Jason Tatum didn't get that opportunity, so Steve Kerr, thanks a lot. But there's a graphic that was pulled up about Jason Tatum versus, some of the greats. There it is, LeBron, MJ, Kobe, KD is on there, and he's the only one with all of those accomplishments, but for some reason he gets so much hate.
Who made this graphic? It's a great graphic.
I want to say it was the NBA Muse.
Not Centel. Not Centel. Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Centel.
Real sad about that.
Muse.
There it is.
Extra_Muse. Great graphic here.
Yeah, fantastic.
But with that being said, rest in peace to Centel. Dude.
Yeah, we're going to miss you. We're going to miss you. And for the people that said that was a bad account, you're completely wrong. But why do you think Jason Tatum gets so much hate, and why do you think people don't like him? Because he is one of those kind of perfect guys, even though he doesn't do that much media.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's unwarranted. He's obviously, like that graphic you saw, he's an elite player in our league. Coming off, he's the best player on the best team in the NBA, off a championship. So I feel like it's not right for the hate that he gets. I mean, I think part of it could be he went to Duke and he plays on the Celtics, two polarizing teams. But I mean, Jason's a good dude. got a shoe. He's elite. Like, he's got everything, you know. So I don't really understand it. I think us as players, I think he has the respect from his peers, and I think that's what means more than anything as an NBA player, the respect you get from your peers. And we know when we play Boston, you got to be ready and game plan around Jason Tatum.
He mentioned the Olympics. You and he were the two guys that didn't see time. You know, he got in, but he wasn't like he didn't play. And the way you handled it was like maybe the greatest NBA superstar. Led his team to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Perfect.
Like is king here in Indiana, and then you get on Team USA, and it's like, all right, I understand my role here. You're going to be a vibes, like literally a vibes guy. Like that is literally what you became for that particular team. And everybody talks about doing that, saying if I was put in a position, I would do it. You actually did it. Did you become tight with the guys on the team because of that? Like, what do you think was a benefit of the way your Olympic experience went, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I think my favorite part was just being able to be around the guys, go to practice and see how these guys work on a daily basis, see their habits, and be able to grow relationships. You know, ever since then, I have relationships with all those guys. When Golden State was here, I went to dinner with Steph, and before the Olympics, me and Steph had no relationship. I actually think I thought he didn't fuck with me. And then at the Olympics, I was like, yo, are we cool? And he was like, yeah, of course. And, you know, Steph's like the best guy ever. But that goes down the line with all those guys. So just being around those guys, getting to grow relationships and getting to learn from them, that was my favorite part. Shit, I was there. I'm 24 years old, so just trying to learn as much as I could and, you know, how that can help me, you know, be a good player in the NBA.
You're a great teammate during it, brother. Yeah, go American. Yeah.
Great American.
Yeah. Go American.
Great American.
All right, Tyrese, we appreciate the hell out of you. We know you have to travel. You're in the middle of a season right now. We thank you for stopping by, hanging out. If our show was shifted an hour earlier window, you would have been able to hang out longer. Instead, you're heading out right now, actually. So you're the man. And the Puma fit is sweet.
I appreciate that.
Says who?
Yeah,
says Pat.
F1 race tonight in Miami?
No, actually, he's
you don't
hopping
like the
in.
racing jacket? No, IndyCar.
You getting one of
He's
those?
hopping in.
Sure.
He's hopping in that one right there, that funny car that's up there. You're looking at the wrong place, Tyrese. Right here is
right here.
Right here, the one that's kind of diagonal.
IndyCar.
Yeah,
IndyCar.
Oh, yeah, IndyCar.
Yeah.
Big IndyCar guy.
Yeah.
Mario Andretti.
Joseph Newgarden you were talking about earlier?
Yes.
I'm actually trying to be a dork for Halloween, so could I get this full outfit?
Look at you right now. Look at you right now.
What are you talking about? Look at me. This is what every NFL team's looking for. This is a
This is not what they're
player.
looking for.
Yeah.
What
This
you
is not
don't
kidding
know.
me. You have no idea, pal.
don't
You
know.
guys need to figure that out. How can we get you to do the combine?
Yeah, I think we can probably make that happen.
we
I mean,
combine?
we're in here in
Probably
the
do it
morning.
today.
We're here in the morning, and I think we could just kind of mosey down. You got to work the security people, just like you have to at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which you're talking about the Indy 500.
Yep.
You got to have a lot of confidence when you're walking by these security people, because once you get in the building, I think everybody thinks you're okay. Getting into the building, impossible, as you found out this morning.
It's a doozy.
It
There's
is.
a lot of people there, though. It's the biggest single-day sporting event in the world, isn't it?
Well, you're talking about Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Indy
Yes.
500.
Yeah, Indy 500, yes.
Correct.
Absolutely it is. For this, though, for the Combine, getting into the building tough. I think we could get on the field. I think we could.
We can get you on the field.
I would love to. And if I tear my ACL, I can finally sue this place and get my money back that they took from me. It'd be
deserve it, brother.
It'd kind of be the perfect
You deserve it.
day, you know? All those taxes to build this shithole just for them to, you know.
Shithole.
go-
This place is beautiful.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
too
great
beautiful.
stadium. This is a great
It
stadium.
is beautiful. Thank you. And you come to all the Colts games, which is very kind
I'll be
of
at
you.
the Colts games. Yeah. We came from Morgan Wallen.
That's right. We're here for
My mom came here for T Swift.
Yeah,
you
me
were here
too.
for Swift. You were
Great
here
show.
for Swifts.
Yeah, it's a great concert stadium.
It's a great stadium.
Royal Rumble.
Great.
Why weren't you in the Rumble?
That's a
That's a
great
good question.
What
I don't
happened?
know. You know what? I'm gonna tell you the truth here. I wanted to be in the Rumble, and me and Triple H talked about it, and then
Trips.
he was like, he was just like, yeah, a lot of people asking if you're gonna be in the Rumble, and I just laugh in their face, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like,
Middle
why
of
are you laughing in
season,
their
bro.
face? And he's
Yeah.
like, because I think he's a little scared about me doing the middle of the season.
You don't
Yeah.
want that
Remember when
bronze
Brunson, we got in there and he pushed himself up at the broke hand, and
Yes.
Triple H kind of had a heart attack. So
Well, it's not just Triple H. Triple H also hears from a lot of people immediately afterwards, like, hey, what do we do? Can we have a little bit of?
well, if SummerSlam's supposed to be here in the next 5 years, right?
And I believe WrestleMania is
Well,
making its
WrestleMania is
way.
during the playoffs, so that definitely is.
That'd be worth it, though, right? I mean, you
The
go
WrestleMania
right
grandest
there.
stage?
Now
Yeah,
you
come
break
on.
your back.
But
You know,
like,
big
how would
deal.
I?
mean,
How would I have got out? How would I have got eliminated from the Rumble?
Yeah, that's the
taking a
issue.
spear.
Bring in Jason
You
Tatum.
think I'm taking that Braun Breaker spear?
Yeah, exactly.
Watch your mouth.
What did he say?
He said, bring in Jason Tatum. Listen, not in this city. You know, remember
guy,
that,
bro.
No, it wasn't this city, actually.
This guy, bro. Are you trying to bait me to say something negative?
No, not at all.
not gonna
I'm just
happen.
saying,
He is.
who
It's not gonna
eliminated you
happen.
last
All right,
year?
hey,
It's a
We
Jim
have-
Everett, Chris Everett situation going on here.
He has to leave. Literally, he has to leave.
What time is it?
12:23.
Oh, yeah, I got to go.
Yeah. Hey, Tyrese, we appreciate the hell out of you.
Appreciate you.
You're the man. And I think the Puma looks cool.
Yeah, enjoy the
Me
race
too.
tonight.
Yeah, I know. I love it.
You're in a plum suit over there.
Hey, I've
Good
seen
suit.
you. Hey,
Hey, dude,
hey,
don't shit on me throwing
I was gonna
shots.
say,
you can never wear plum
Inspector
again.
Gadget, okay?
What you mean?
You know exactly what
You
we
make
mean.
some, you win some, you lose some. You have some. You not every outfit you put on is like that shit was hot.
This one
That's
is.
just weak.
That one is.
This one is.
How do we feel about this one today? You looked in the mirror. You said, you know what, I'm killing them today. Shout out Puma.
Yeah, for sure. and I'm getting on the plane cozy. Watch The Wire, go to sleep.
Oh,
Great show.
Why?
Great show. I'm on
Okay.
season
What
5.
season? Oh,
You
on
talked
season
about this.
5.
You
You're not
talked
gonna
about
like
this
how
on
it
All
ends.
Star break.
Yeah, I'm on season 5 right now.
Season
Elite
5's
television.
without a doubt.
It's like Severance.
What show you think I should go to next?
Severance.
Severance is really good. It's
Oh, you
slow
did
though.
tell me that.
Severance.
Severance
Slow.
kind of sucks. If
Slow,
we're being
right?
honest.
You seen Severance?
It takes a little to build.
It's very slow, but I like it.
I watched 3 episodes. I got
What
it. I
happened?
understand. It could be great. Too slow for me. But you could see why it would be great. Like it is a very
Yeah,
very-
9 eps in the first season. It takes 6 to build the place, and
It
then
takes 6 to
And then
build.
7, 8, 9 are. It's a crazy concept. You got.
I'm not a series guy. He is a series
Yes.
guy. I would not
Watch
watch
everything.
series. I don't do that. But that one, watch a couple on his recommendation. You could see how it would be great. But once again, I watch wrestling and football and basketball.
And basketball. I was like, calm down.
Yeah, of course. Something a little
And hockey.
quicker. Black Hawk Down documentary. Watch that. Unbelievable.
Lioness.
Watch
really
Prison Break. You'll love it.
I heard it's a good show.
You'll love it.
I'm going Sopranos.
White
Oh, Saved by the Bell.
Go
I mean, if we're
Sopranos.
just
Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, all right,
We
ladies
figured
and
you'd
like
seen
White
Sopranos.
Collar.
Tyrese Haliburton.
Look at
Yeah,
Tyrese.
Tyrese.
White Collar's coming back.
Yeah, I'm not watching that.
That was a very loud pop right there. I don't know if any mics caught. That was another
luck.
one.
Good luck, man.
That was kind of dud.
All right, guys.
That was a good one too.
Hey, good luck.
All right, yeah, head on a
Head on a
swivel.
swivel.
Be
Hey,
careful.
stay out of those places.
Head
in
on a
Miami.
swivel at Starbucks, please.
Hey, don't throw your back out loading baggage onto the plane wearing that gear.
Good point.
He walked in with that jacket. We have a very kind of the people here. We got a suite upstairs. Shout to Foss, shout to ESPN, and in Indianapolis, which is funny because the Colts don't own the stadium. So the NFL,
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, that's right.
Indianapolis does. So
Colts Nation.
The NFL has to work with like the actual city, like people that work for the city. The people that work for the city all. They're pretty on board with our particular program, you know. Everybody else kind of, you know,
Not as much.
not as much, you know. So it's like the people that have the place are people, and Tyrese is the same. He's treated the same exact way as the people. Like he is beloved in this city. Tyrese is great for this city.
Perfect.
But he walked in that jacket earlier in our suite, and everybody was like, "That's a big jacket."
Well, I thought he drove his Ducati here.
Well, he could have. That goes back to your point. The NBA players make a lot of money.
With the potholes in this city, I don't know if we can.
Ladies and gentlemen, men who host this, driving on the moon.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't do it. You can't own a nice car like that.
We haven't talked about it in a while because we hammered it for so long on our show whenever we weren't on ESPN. But like the potholes in Indianapolis are moats. Like that is what they are. And I know there's other cities that have bad potholes and other states have bad potholes because I'm from Pennsylvania. Any 4-season climate normally going to have bad roads and everything like that. And everybody thinks theirs are the worst. And I think I've lived in West Virginia. I've lived in multiple states. Indiana's roads are by far the worst. I mean, these things are so deep. They're like 3-4 feet deep.
We went on vacation, came back. I thought there was a small mortar war.
Yeah, a pond, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a pond just started. Or like, you know those videos where the
Sinkholes?
Yeah. Like you think that is in the middle of the road.
There's a big one in
And then
Pacific.
there's so many of them that kind of hit, you can't even crash 2 18-wheelers on the...
Exactly. I was going to say they're making their way onto the highway now, which is great because it makes it very safe, you know, when you got a shitload of semis going by and everything. It's awesome. It's phenomenal.
Crashed a semi into another semi, I guess, these potholes.
I saw one this morning. They were giving donkey tours to the bottom of it.
That's what I'm saying.
It's messed up.
That's what I'm saying. It's like driving on the moon.
Hell yeah.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is two men that have already been to the moon and probably been back. They host the NFL Combine. They host the future of the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, from NFL Network and from the Rich Eisen Show. And we can move some sticks. Rich Eisen, Dan Jeremiah. Michigan man's going to bring in a ball.
Well.
No, he's a Michigan
He's a Florida Ram at heart. How you doing, Rich?
Whatever you want to go.
Come on, DJ.
Mr. Eisen of the game. How you doing, DJ?
Mr. Sticks.
A little bit more room. Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Get this mic.
Thank you.
Mr.
God,
Jeremiah.
it's good to see you guys.
It is great.
Hey,
Let's do it.
the Combine's here.
It is here.
Let's go, boys. Let's go, boys.
Let's
go, boys.
We're ready. We're ready.
This is Daniel Jeremiah's Super Bowl. This is all eyes on DJ. This is, hey, Rich Eisen, let's go ahead and run that 40. Let's be smooth as hell.
Yeah.
Let's compliment everybody that's out here because there's a chance that there's any Hall of Famer at any time walking onto this field. And this is you guys on TV for, 45 hours straight calling people do exercises, right, Rich?
We should raise money. It should be a telethon. It's funny, anytime a large man runs really slow, I get a text from Warren Sapp saying, there's your pace car.
I appreciate
every single time.
You've been under 6-0 4 times. I think we did the history.
Is that right?
2016 is your fastest. I think if we get if I read the stats right, you've been under 6-0.
Yep.
4 times throughout the history. A lot of times you've run. I mean, like 20 times it feels like. Do you know how many?
I always tell.
There it
is. There's the. Let me see. I see 5 beautiful 5s up there.
Only gotten better.
Up to the left of the decimal point. That is fantastic.
2,
Look at that
3,
form.
4.
What do you think of the form?
It's really good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Top notch.
For being in a suit, too.
Hey, it's 4 under 6-0, right?
That's 4 under. That's 4 under 6.
Okay, I thought you said 5. I thought I couldn't do math.
How many of those did you time, DJ?
Just a couple, but I did get one under 6. So I don't know if that's 2018. It might be 2018.
Yeah,
that sounds about right.
He's got a nice trigger finger.
I was giving the punters yesterday, and the kicker's good. Like, I got my stopwatch right here.
Yeah.
You can just delay a little bit and give a guy a 0.1. All of a sudden, he goes from 4.6 to a 4.7. That's a good punt. Let's keep this guy around. But what you've done for St. Jude with this run, Rich Run, cool thing, bro.
Thank you.
Indianapolis is very lucky that you choose, or you get to do it here, I guess.
Let me tell you, it's been it was like anything else born out of on television, born out of complete boredom, sitting in the old RCA Dome. 2.5 hours before shooting Total Access, back when you were probably a scout or something like that.
Absolutely.
Where were you in 05?
Yeah, I was 05. I was with the Ravens.
You were with the Ravens.
Yeah.
So it's me. I'm sitting up in the stands. Terrell Davis, who was thinking about doing TV at the time, sitting next to me. This is great. I get to tell the story the way normally I have to clean it up. Now I've just realized where I am right
Welcome
now.
to my show, man. We never get to see yours. You never get to see ours, but you know the vibes.
I do know the vibes.
Yes,
I'm sitting there and I'm just totally bored, hearing the hum of the air conditioning and the lights in the old RCA Dome. Just stared down at the 40-yard dash, and I don't know why it popped in my head about running it. So I turned to Terrell Davis. I say, TD, how fast do you think I can run it? He laughs. He goes, you can't run for shit. And I swear to God, I just said, go fuck yourself. Watch me.
It was a spite run.
It was a spite run, and I went down, and I was just dressed, suited, and booted, lace up. Dress shoes, and I went and ran it and had no idea that the crew that was on break was actually recording it. And they surprised me with it that night. And then the next day, we had Joe Gibbs on, and a whole bunch of other coaches came in.
Judging, evaluating.
And they said, did we see you running a 40-yard dash last night? So right away, they immediately popped the 40-yard dash up, and they were all making fun of me and having fun with it. And I just thought nothing of it. Next year, I show up, and the first person I see at the RCA Dome is the freshly minted NFC champion coach of the Seattle Seahawks, Mike Holmgren, who goes, are you going to run it again? And I'm like, no. And he said, why not? And I'm like, I don't know. He goes, well, you got to beat your time. And I'm like thinking to myself, here is the NFC champion head coach, just coaching the Super Bowl, like questioning my sense of competition. I have to run it. So I
got to prove myself.
I did, and that's why I ran it again, because of him. And I just remember him also saying, just don't wind up there, and he pointed at the training table. And so I just kept doing it over and over and over again, and now it's 20 years.
Come on, dude, that's awesome.
Hell yeah, Rich.
You've done so many good things too with that. Obviously, raising a shit ton of money, because I don't know the exact amount for St.
It's over $7 million for the life of it.
Much more than a shit ton. That is a lot. That's amazing. It was a spite run to begin with, and Coach Holmgren kind of motivates you to continue it. And then he points at a training table. Have you ever hurt yourself doing it?
I have, as a matter of fact. Because running it, and my wife is always sitting at home hoping that I don't embarrass myself and the family name. And then Dion was always part of our crew, and I didn't want to embarrass myself in front of him. Leon Sandcastle. And as a matter of fact, he did run the 40 with me one year as Leon Sandcastle, and was step for step with me in the Leon Sandcastle afro, running backwards.
Backpedaling, yeah, that's tough.
You saw, that's a tough look. It's a tough look, but for comedy, Pat. Anything for comedy,
and also for Deion Sanders. I mean, Deion.
Yeah, it was good for the brand on everybody's part except for me, but it's all good.
No, good.
But so one year I ran it so slow twice, and I ran it a third time because I just wanted to run it faster. And I popped my hamstring in the middle of it.
Not good.
And I thought to myself, well, we're just not going to air it this year. And Mike Mayock said to me, "You've got to air it. You got to air it." And I'm like, "Why?" And he goes, "Because it shows, you're just like everybody else. You're running as fast as you possibly can. Who cares if you got hurt? And just show it." I'm like, "Okay, you're right." So we did it. And as soon as it airs, he goes, "Hey, looks like there was a sniper in the dome." Awesome. And he goes, "Bill Polian was up there with a rifle." And I'm like, "Well, wait a minute. You told me to show it just to set me up? Like, what the hell was that?"
That's everybody's had that happen in football, in sports, So I think you stepping up to prove yourself that I'm not just a TV guy.
Thank you, Pat.
It's such a good mentality to start that entire thing. Hell yeah, we appreciate you,
Thanks,
Rich.
buddy.
Now let's talk about some 40s that are going to be happening here this week. And I legitimately can't wait to watch you guys. Spend a weekend with you. It's like a weekend watching a golf tournament. That's, I think, how you should view it, probably. I assume you already do as a host, but that is how I view it. Something great happens. There's some noise. I'm going to go ahead and look.
Yeah.
Other than that, got some background noise with the wife, with the daughter doing a thing. What do we need to keep an eye out for this week? What is like the most spectacular, jaw-dropping thing that you project to potentially take place this week?
Well, I think there's going to be some 4.2s. So we had the runner last year with Xavier Worthy, ripped off the record. I think that's probably going to be safe, but I think there's three guys that have a chance to get close. Maxwell Hairston, a corner from Kentucky, is kind of my favorite. Keep an eye on him as somebody that might run that thing down. Bond from Texas, the wide receivers, crazy.
If they go
fast.
Xavier Worthy from Texas, 4.21, to Isaiah Bond, 4.2 whatever from Texas, it's like, what's the training going on down in Texas? These guys are just faster than any humans that have ever existed.
Well, I think also you're just looking at the track programs in high school, how much better they've gotten in the resources and track clubs, and these guys they know how to run. It used to be football players, and you're trying to train and learn how to run a 40. These guys have been coming out of a stance since they were 8-9 years old, and they're legit fast. So those guys are fun, and then. Defensive line, it's a stat class. Defensive tackles is loaded, edge rushers is loaded. Linebackers today, Jahad Campbell from Alabama, he can rush off the edge, he can play off the ball. He's gonna run low 4.4 at that size.
Jeez.
It's impressive.
It is impressive. And if we got good D tackles, that means we got a lot of big meat moving fast. Always create good moments for NFL Combine clips. Now, Mad Mel obviously dialed in, has some questions.
Yes.
Yeah, dude, DJ, obviously this
awesome.
time of the year, the reason I love it so much is it just kind of gives me an opportunity to put my nuts right on the table. Let everybody know, hey, I know this shit inside and out, okay? I assume you're the same way, maybe not as colorful, as the way I do it, but Adam Schefter was on the show yesterday kind of talking about the athletes in this class and basically said, hey, listen, a guy, the top 10 here.
Rich, please. Rich.
He's going.
He's getting what it's fine. I mean, I get it. It happens. But
this guy's trying to do a little scouting.
He said the difference between 10 and, maybe the guy who goes with 10, the guy who goes with 35 is, very minuscule, if you will. He said, listen, a guy you get in the third round might be just as good as the guy you take at 11. Do you agree with that sentiment? Do you think this class itself maybe isn't as deep as classes in the past? Or is it kind of one of those things where, personally I believe, hey, not as great of a quarterback class. So a lot of people are, not going to get as excited about it. But do you buy that maybe there's 10 guys with a true first-round grade, and that everybody else you might be able to find, day 2, day 3. What's your take on that, DJ?
First of all, have you had your pumpkin pie yet today?
Obviously, start every morning. A lot of people. And listen, I want to get this out of the way right now.
Allegedly.
Whipped cream. Okay?
Upside down.
Whipped cream, not whippets. All right, I'm not emptying a whipped cream bottle and then sucking the the CO2 out of there and getting all jacked up on goofballs.
Yeah, nobody should be doing that.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Okay, so sue me. I had half a pumpkin pie and about 2 cans of whipped cream. And it gets me going.
I don't mean to evaluate. I don't think that is the actual chemistry of what you suck out of a whippet. CO2.
No, yeah, but if
how do you know, Rich?
Well, I know carbon dioxide is not in that.
Well,
sort
no,
of
it's
thing.
not. But if that's all you got is an empty, Whippet can
See, I know my chemistry, Boston. Okay,
fair enough.
Back off.
Michigan guy forgot.
Anyways, pumpkin, a lot of pumpkin, and then 10 to 35.
Yeah, it is. It's the way I phrase it is it's a starter draft, maybe not a star draft. So there's a bunch of guys very evenly graded.
I like that.
So you're going to find, there's going to be a lot of similarity. I think I would push it back maybe more towards like 15. Then you could probably even go further down the line, like 15 to 50. You're going to see a lot of similarly graded players. That's why on the media side of things, it's hard to stack your board because you're not with the team, and so every team is going to have the same grades on these guys, but I'm going to prioritize the needs that I have. So I think you'll see players get picked that'll be wildly different than where they are on boards.
So who do you think are the stars then? Like if you're saying it's a lot of starters, who are like the top guys, like the blue chip dudes who are going to go in and be immediate huge factors for teams?
I mean, I think there's two stars in the draft. I think it's Abdul Carter and I think it's Travis Hunter. I think those are like the blue chip elite players.
Tyler Warren, no?
I love Tyler Warren. He's my 5th overall player.
But Genty too. You got Genty too.
Genty's my 3rd player. That's what's so weird about this
Loveland
draft.
Graded the same as
I have the same
Warren,
grade on Warren and Loveland again. That's my 3 of my top 7 players, 2 tight ends and a running back.
Why isn't Travis Hunter being this? We're previewing this, but I hope you don't mind us using the Pat McAfee Show real estate as sort of a rundown meeting here. Okay, very good. Why isn't Travis Hunter number 1 overall? Because he is a unicorn. Yeah. And by the way, he just came up with a soundbite of the week as far as I'm concerned. He was asked at his press conference, while you were talking to Tyrese here, that, are you going to return punts and kicks? And his answer was, I already have 2 jobs.
Beast.
That is a sick bar.
That is. I already have 2 jobs. Like, everybody back off. I'm a friggin' unicorn. So why isn't he considered 1st overall here?
Yeah, well, he's 2nd for me, and that more is about how special Abdul Carter is and the position that he plays. I'm going to value somebody who can go get the quarterback in a league where I rank it quarterback, pass rushers. That's 1 and 2 of the most valuable assets you can have. And we're coming off of a Super Bowl that we just witnessed what happens when you have dominant defensive front players. Now, he's unique in terms of all the different things he can do. I'm not convinced he can run it out there 100 snaps a game in the NFL playing against that competition for the long, prolonged season. I think he's going to have to major and minor, and you got to figure out which one of those he's going to major and which one he's going to minor.
So I think if you were to, like Chuck Pagano, for instance, he said if you can get a lockdown corner, guy that can go on an island, you go ahead and do that, and then you can give him a couple plays on offense to take advantage of his skill set, especially with the game coming back to being a physical one. If you can go man on the outside, which I think obviously everybody wants to be able to do. But if you can go man or have a guy that can go man, I mean, that's a game changer for the rest of the box to try to stop the run, which I think is where the game's headed. I'm very fascinated by Travis Hunter because, you ask these people, is he a wide receiver? Is he a cornerback? And you ask him, obviously, he says, I'm different. Right. He said, I'm different. People say never been done before. Nobody ever done it like I do it. He said, I'm just different. A lot of good bars coming out of Travis Hunter. And I think he's uber competitive. Everybody says all he does is like ball.
Yeah.
Doesn't really go out.
He's supposed to be a great kid.
Yeah, works his ass off. Like, he's 113 snaps a game, I think, or is some sort of record in this entire thing. So his durability has been fantastic. The way he's come through, the prime university to be a professional athlete, it's like, feels like he is a can't-miss type of guy.
100%.
At one of the positions.
Right, and at one point,
at best, 2.
Right, and at one point of his career, you'll figure which one he's going to major in specifically, and then. That's why I don't know how you pass up on him. Like, period. End of story.
The only thing I would push back on
DJ,
that is,
listen to us, okay?
Yes, no.
Can you watch any of the film?
By the way, we haven't even got to Will Howard yet. I would have had that on my bingo card. It's already coming up with Pat. It's coming.
I'll give you a short amount of time so you can't explain it.
Thank you. But I mean,
there's a strategy.
Abdul Carter, we watched him with one arm.
So good.
In the playoffs. Dominating.
We were there. Yeah, it was
dominating.
Hold on, I got some Hembo stats on Abdul Carter.
You want to know something crazy? And this is fully, recognizing Travis Hunter and his greatness. I'm not so sure if they raced that Abdul Carter wouldn't win.
Really?
Abdul Carter, I was told when he has a full runway to get healthy and run, that he'll run in the 4.3s.
Unbelievable as a pass rusher. So that makes sense for what Hembo sent over. Most pressures versus Ohio State last season, Abdul Carter with 5. Most pressures versus Oregon last season, Abdul Carter with 6. Most pressures versus Notre Dame last season, Abdul Carter with 7. That was when he was injured or whatever, okay? Then most pressures in 2024 inside 2.5 seconds. Okay, so you talk about his speed.
Yeah.
Inside 2.5 seconds, Abdul Carter had 37 of them. James Pierce Jr. had 29. Inside 2.25 seconds now. We're getting, this is
crazy
turnstile tackle type thing happened there. He had 29 of those. So basically only 8 of them were between 2.25 to 2.5. And the next closest was James Pierce with 19. So he has as many in 2.25 seconds as Pierce had in 2.5 seconds. You're talking about just getting to the quarterback immediately. He's running a 4.3, this guy?
Yeah, but we're not going to see it here. We'll have to wait till his pro day.
No, but just in life.
That's how explosive he is. That's just how dynamic.
And he plays through pain. I got the foot thing now, right? What's his foot thing?
So I guess they thought he might have to have surgery. Then the latest we heard today was he's going to put that. He doesn't need it. He's going to be able to go at the pro day and be full go.
8 weeks. Like if Schefter's report is accurate, which we assume it is, Schefter said he had 2 options.
Yeah.
Option 1 is get the surgery, get a bolt. Here it is, right here. Option 1 for Carter would be to have the preemptive surgery, have a screw insert in his right foot, and be expected back in 8 weeks. Option 2 for Carter would be to bypass the surgery, conduct his pro day, and prove to NFL teams that he doesn't need it because he's probably had this for a long time without even knowing it. Maybe they checked it here in medical. And my first reaction is like, 8 weeks, brother, it's February. You go ahead and get that thing done.
Who cares?
And then you go into a season, especially if you're a top, let alone a top 1 guy. But if you're like a top 5 guy, like obviously there's a difference in money, but what you're about to do in the NFL is about to be a difference in money. I'd get healthy, but I feel like they probably just assume that it's not that big of a deal. Is that what's you're hearing?
Apparently option 2 was chosen this morning, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I heard, yeah. So do you know anything about that, DJ?
No, it just said that this morning the information that it wasn't as serious as they saw yesterday. I don't know how that information changes from one day to the next.
Different doctors, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it different medical?
Or different imaging, I guess.
Really? Isn't
know.
that the thing, Rich? About
I mean, that's what this is all about. Like I remember back in the day at the RCA Dome when I was just strolling around the combine for the first time, and they used to split up the medical rooms by division. Like in AFC East doctors were in one room, and Central and what have you. Central. Anyway, long story short is I went in there, started talking to some doctors, which probably wouldn't be happen today.
Yeah.
One guy told me that he in previous combines saw an X-ray and told a guy, you broke your leg. Back in high school, and the guy's like, "No, I didn't," and he showed it to him. He goes, "Yeah, you did. You just didn't know." I'm like, they find stuff that other places just don't.
Wasn't there somebody's heart? There was a heart thing somewhere, wasn't there?
I think Maurice Hurst out of Michigan, they found something with him that, heart related. And fortunately, he's had a long career here.
Yeah, like one team deemed him no.
Yeah.
And then other teams were like, yeah, we'll take this guy in top 10. Like it's an interesting philosophy from doctors.
It happened with Kansas City with Trey Smith.
There it is.
That's why he fell to the 6th round.
Yeah, his knee was all screwed up, and some of the doctors said, hey, this might be a problem. And obviously, he's been fantastic.
And I guess just to bring this conversation full circle, Mad Mel, you're the first person to talk about nuts on the table at the combine since Chris Jones.
That's on the field, brother. That's on the field, brother.
That was a sitting there watching and go, oh man, he pulled his. That's not his hamstring.
Let it fly, DJ. You need to do that in there. You talk about quarterbacks.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 46 minutes into the hour, got an out at 57, so I think you have more than enough time.
We're good.
To explain.
Yep.
I looked at can you put his mock first round up there again? There is a name that I don't know if we have exact control. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I don't see it. Do you guys see it? Am I missing a name?
What are you looking for?
I don't see it.
A national champion. Is it
4 Ohio State guys?
I see Abuka's on there.
I see Henderson. I see Donovan Jackson, Dog.
This is the Will Howard show of record.
Oh, okay, he's not up there.
He's not, isn't he, Rich? I don't see him. What is the deal? Like, I love Shedeur, by the way. Yeah. Incredibly tough. I like Shedeur up there. Cam Ward, I like Cam Ward up there. Like, this is not taking away from them. This is just saying Jackson Dart, number 3 in this draft, is what's kind of being talked about. And then Will Howard, how do you have him viewed?
He's right in there. He's not far off from Jackson Dart on grade-wise for me, and I'll give you some good Will Howard news because I knew I was going to see Pat, and I knew
Ohio State guy. I know, but
where we were going.
Right. Sure.
So I talked to teams that have interviewed Will Howard this week and said he's been exceptional, that he's been awesome in the room, and I went back and I wanted to watch kind of the last tail end of games because that's when he caught fire. So after you get through the process, you watch all 330 guys we have here. Now you have time to go on a little deeper dive. And the first one I started with, I want to start with Michigan. I know it went the way you wanted it to go, Rich.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah, did not go the way Ohio State wanted that one to go. But
Can confirm.
Watching that tape, He took a vicious hit early in that game.
He was right on the sideline.
And he was not the same later on beyond that. And
thought he was at Kansas State still.
Yeah, exactly. It was a Wildcat. So seeing that, I kind of excused away some of that performance because I don't know that he was all right in that game. And then he got hot and played exceptionally well. My only concern with him really is just I want to see the quarterback throw live and see the ball come out of his hand just to see, if there's enough pop and there's enough juice, because these receivers at Ohio State create so much separation.
Agreed.
That there's not really those tight window throws. There's no need for them. You don't really have to make them.
There's a couple strikes. I mean, we were on the field watching the last 4 games up close and personal.
It's unbelievable.
He's eyeballed it.
Well, that's the thing. So we, and I'm not saying you had the same thought as us actually on C.J. Stroud, but like when we do these field pass games, me, AJ, Darius, a lot of other people, and I'm very lucky at the punter position. I've watched a lot of football from the sideline. Yeah. Like I've literally watched a lot of football. So you see some of these guys and you look like, oh, that's a Sunday guy, right? Like that is clearly a different guy. We saw CJ against Georgia, and he had ran more than he had for the rest of the season. It was like, that's the guy right there. That is the guy. For Will Howard, it was just like, as we were watching him, I'm like, nobody's really talking. He's 6'4". He's got the size, 240. He's got it all. The boys love him. And whenever things go south, especially with a transfer guy that got paid a bunch of money, especially with all the egos that could potentially be in that building, they could have turned their back on him. Instead, he had touchdown celebrations with dances, with all of his skill. He was able to handle personality, and then he was making these throws. Now, granted, that guy's unguardable. Yeah. So is everybody else, except for against Michigan, right, Rich?
Well, no. I mean,
like that ball.
Listen, he balled out in the playoffs. There's just there's no two ways about it, and there's no two ways about it. He was hurt. Michigan really hurt him in that game, and C.J. Stroud had the best workout of a quarterback I think I've ever seen at a combine.
Here, right? And he threw.
He was unreal. Yeah. He threw every throw. He was dynamite. He was amazing. My only question is, Will Howard, when he throws here, is it going to be really weird for him? Because I don't think he's played in this building.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. This is
that's true.
Okay.
This is the home of the Big Ten championship, and I don't think
that's true. I don't think
is this going to be the first time he throws in this building?
Okay. Let's stick on that note, shall we?
Sure.
Let's stick on that note with Michigan. How many did Jim say yesterday? Maybe 4.
So it's Mason Graham, it's Kenneth Grant, it's Colston Loveland, and
Will Johnson.
Will Johnson. Yeah.
Okay. So are we going to be able to continue to replenish all these guys up in Michigan? Are we a little bit worried?
When you say we, what do you mean? Are we, like collectively we?
No, I'm just saying, are we? If I was a
why
Michigan
would I be
person,
worried? Why
you
would
gave
I be
millions for Bryce Underwood, right?
Well, when you say you, I didn't give a dime.
I thought it was you personally.
No, it wasn't me.
You own Oracle, right?
No. You know, I own something that Oracle, I think, created.
It's $200 billion. What is that? What is Oracle?
Database,
cloud computing.
It's a great company. It's outstanding, and it's a revenue generator, Pat. But yes, the Michigan did splurge, and it's fantastic. And they finished awesome. That was great.
Yeah.
January 1st, 2024, beating Alabama in the Rose Bowl, and December 31st, beating Alabama twice in the same year, around beating Ohio State. And those were just great days in my life, Pat.
Yeah, you guys beat Alabama twice and Ohio State twice in the same year. I mean, that's
in an actual calendar year, the first day of the year and the last day of the year was beating Alabama
twice. Yeah.
And then Ohio State with a walk-on quarterback and 5 losses, and it was just honestly, I'd rather talk about all that.
Can I ask Pat a local question here?
Sure. I think that's a great idea, whatever it might be.
Do you guys have a recommendation for a good smoothie spot?
Tropical Smoothie Cafe is the right
Because
place.
I've heard coffee shops not safe these days. So if I want just a little something to refresh.
Good point.
Interesting.
I would love a smoothie.
Yeah, stay away from Starbucks.
Yeah. Speaking of, holy shit. Holy
there he is.
hell.
Oh, my God. He's got a black eye.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Come on.
Stitches.
Come on now.
Oh, my.
Ladies,
he's got stitches on his face.
NFL Network's greatest Americano.
There he is.
Ian Rapaport.
All right, let's go to the
He's going to eat lightning and crap thunder in order of venti.
All right, so let's go to the tail of tape first here, real quick.
Good call. Good call.
We do have one of these just so we know exactly who we are.
Oh my God.
Who we are chit-chatting with here.
Rowing.
Yeah.
Offensive, but not that far off.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Nonetheless, Starbucks standoff captivated the world. Allegedly, had a little face-to-face disagreement. Rapaport, one of the participants. Rap Sheet is joining us now.
Unknown.
Unlimited is the other one. Okay. All right, we see it. Yeah. Rap. Okay, Rap.
Unlimited.
We wake up this morning.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We know that the whole world knows about everything that has taken place. What's the mindset like, and where do we go from here, bub?
Okay, so last night,
Stand more to your left.
Thank you. Good TV.
You're welcome.
And back up a little bit. Yeah, it looks like you're in a mugshot.
By the way, that's why you didn't get touched. Did you see that? You see that move back?
Yeah, that was good.
Good feet. Quick.
Shoulder roll in there too. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
So last night when it all broke, everyone in the world texted me, wanting to know details, and it was all out there. Florio basically wrote the whole thing, so there's not much to add.
Wow.
And then I woke up this morning, and everyone in the world has texted me.
Yeah. Well, we all are happy that you're both okay. We'd like to let that be known. Yeah. With that being said, what is next? Are you guys going to shake hands before you get out of town, or what do we think?
I mean,
that's a no. Wants to see him anymore. Hard pass on the handshake.
My
freaking. He's going to the coffee bean and tea leaf from now on.
Yeah, absolutely. Not another penny.
There's actually a lot of great coffee brands at Dunkin'.
Hey, we're happy you're okay. We love you. Are you all right, man? You're going to be okay?
I'm okay.
We miss you. You had a great season. We were watching.
Miss you guys, too.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rap Sheet.
Baby Rap Sheet.
Baby Rap. Body armor.
Yeah, he's
smart. Shot.
I wish you would have had a neck brace on today when you walked in.
All time.
All right, boys.
Dunkachino.
This first hour is wrapping up, and we'll be heading into a hard out. And you guys will probably go off into the world that you were going to do. Rich, we'd like to wish you absolute best of luck as you call 45 hours of all this legitimately. We appreciate you doing it, let alone during the season, okay? So obviously I'm on TV a lot. I do a lot of shit during the season. Boys and I do a lot of shit. We're very lucky to do it. You do the same exact shit, and you have NFL Game Day morning on Sunday, which is like a 4-hour show, I think.
It is indeed.
So the way that you go about doing what you do and your work ethic is something that I admire massively.
Right back at
and
you.
what you're doing here every single year does not go unnoticed about like how the length of it and everything about it. They got it right with you as the first hire for NFL Network.
Thanks,
just want to let you know that.
I
We love you,
appreciate
Rich.
that.
Oh, yeah, Rich.
How is the mindset going in?
I'm fired up. It's year 22. I heard you're coming on tomorrow, right?
Yeah, 3:15. I think I'll come see you guys.
Very good. Right
if
off
they
the
got
bat.
a camera.
No, dude. We'll have a camera for you. I'll make sure about that. I'll make
Special
sure.
Showcase was not a show. Just learned that on the fly in the moment. But it was lucky to be there. Rich, I appreciate you. And
Right back
DJ,
at you.
I can't wait to watch all of the preparation and hard work that you put in over the last few months kind of be on display throughout the entire combine. You're the man.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, somebody's running a couple 4.2s, he said.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Arian Smith's the one name you didn't.
I won't be one of them.
He's one of the three. Yeah.
That will not be
Tone,
me.
quick, we got like 20 seconds. For DJ, what does he need to look out for maybe from your standpoint?
Today we talked about Kenneth Grant and then Shamar Stewart. There's a couple other.
Shamar Stewart is going to work out.
And Jahad Campbell, too.
Yeah.
We talked about this.
Yeah, anybody not going to work out?
Mason Grant.
How much time do you have?
No,
All right.
my God. We're out of
It'll
time.
be a great combine. Hour 1's wrapping up here from Lucas Oil Stadium. In Hour 2, we have
Somebody.
Field.
Field.
I think it's Field and many others. We cannot wait. We appreciate you all so much. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. We'll see you on the other side. Of about 30 people moving through the back end of the business field here. And in the middle of it is this black Samoan man who has become the most famous human on earth.
Great guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the GOAT, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. There's thousands and thousands of people skipping class to come see your big ass.
Listen, there is thousands and thousands of you skipping class. It doesn't matter if they go to class.
Moana is one of the best animated films of all time.
What?
Okay, can't wait for the live action.
Thank you, yes.
But
You're welcome.
We talk about Moana.
What can I say except you're welcome?
And we talk about mana.
Honestly, listen, kid, I could go on and on. I could explain every natural phenomenon. The tide, the grass, the ground. Oh, that was Maui just messing around. I could have let it buried its guts, sprouted a tree, now you got coconuts. What's the lesson? What is the takeaway? Don't mess with Maui when he's on a breakaway. And the temperature here on my skin is a map of the victories I win. Look where I've been to make everything happen. Look at the me, Maui just tickety-tapping. That's it.
Still got it.
On the Samoan side, Polynesian side, we have a word called mana. Mana is spirit. Mana is power. Mana comes from in here. It's the thing that gives you goosebumps. It's that thing you feel. It's that thing when I walked out and we felt this thing. This is mana. This is mana. It's very, very, very real, and you could feel it. Mwah. Little things like I don't get driven anywhere. I don't want to get driven anywhere. I don't like chauffeurs. Keeps me in my way just a little grounded. Like I could drive myself everywhere and not telling some guy, hey, take me here, take me there.
That is something I'm going to start saying like, yeah. Because when they open your door, you feel so bad. I can open my own door, dude. They're trying to be courteous. It's their job. But also, the day I stop opening my own door is the day I become a big old bitch.
Here we go.
That's a big cup.
Sorry, Mike. And here's the iconic sound. You guys know it. This special Terramana toast goes out to Passion. Congratulations on your show. Very proud of you. Very proud of all you boys. And to all of you, love you guys. Thank you for the support. Keep kicking ass. Cheers. In my world, when I sit down and we're talking about movies and all this other shit, it's never this. It's never this, back with the boys, and you. So I appreciate it, and this one's to you. Thank you, boys.
See you, pal. Cheers.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a 5-minute break here.
Oh, hold on, one more. If you're some man!
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to Lucas Oil Stadium in beautiful Indianapolis, Indiana, the forever home of the Combine, which we are at. Hour 2 begins now.
Combine!
It's magical for the city of Indianapolis, and obviously there's a lot of news that comes from here. There's a lot of dreams that come true. There's some nightmares for some teams and some players. There's medical reports, there's conversations, there's mingling, there's tampering, there's magic in Indianapolis this week, and we can't thank you enough for joining us here on ESPN, ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, YouTube, and TikTok Live. We are the dumbest group of humans that get to do this every day, and we can't thank you enough. Now, one of our guys is missing, and it's a shame. If you could send out your T's and P's to Ty Schmidt, we'd be incredibly grateful for that. We think he'll be back soon, but we're not 100% sure. The Talks at Table is representing still at Boston Connor, rocking an Undertaker hat and a Tim Robinson t-shirt. You look amazing here for day 2 of Combine, pal.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm glad we had Tyrese on, so I wasn't, the worst dressed person here. But this is my favorite shirt.
Good.
It's got kind of everything you want in one person. It's kind of exactly what you're looking for when you're coming to the Combine. You want someone who can pull off all these looks. The what the hell with the fantastic fedora flap, the hot dog, we got to find this guy, the I don't want to be around anymore guy. I mean, it really is the dangerous
there's
Knights
no driving crooner. There's no coffin drop. I don't think coffin drop is represented on
Corn
here.
Cob TV, we are still trying to save Coffin Flop, but it's just got some of the most iconic ones. We don't have all of them, but it's impossible to fit all of them onto one shirt. I mean, you got everything. You got the sloppy steaks or wherever it is over here. Slop them up, But it's one of my favorite shirts. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. You look great, and obviously any Tim Robinson gear is welcomed on any particular program that we have. If you have a Detroiters thing coming up next, we can't wait to see it. Now, joining you at the Talks table, not Ty Schmidt per usual, it's actually Mad Milk Hyper.
Mad
Mel, what are your thoughts on Rich Eisen, Daniel Jeremiah, and the Combine as a whole here, pal?
Just, again, absolutely unbelievable being here in Indianapolis. It's just great being around a bunch of people who look up to you and, have said, man, this is the reason I kind of got into this. Guys like you really paved the way for me to be able to kind of break down the Combine, look at all the different prospects and go through their intangibles, their athleticism, all the requisite abilities they're going to need to perform in the NFL. So it's nice, kind of coming here and I mean, I don't want to pat myself on the back too much, but basically being the king of the city for a week.
Yeah, and you're the king of every city, we think. And speaking of, there goes Rap. Rap, we love you, Rap.
Careful, Rap.
What a couple days for that guy.
Careful.
Yeah.
That's not a Starbucks cup.
Yep, and I don't think there will ever be another Starbucks. We love you, Rap. We love you, Rap.
Try Java House, Rap.
One half of the Hammer
Dahn.
Cowboys, Tone Diggs is here. Tone, big day today at the Combine. A lot of things are going to happen here.
Yeah, a lot of big human beings moving quickly today. There was a couple guys that I picked out that are going to be working out today that are going to work out really well. Starting with Kenneth Grant. He's a D tackle out of Michigan. He's 6'3", 342. He actually said yesterday that he dropped to 330 for the Combine so that he could run in the 4.7, 4.8 range at 330, 340. So he is going to be a huge people mover to watch today. Another one is Jalen Walker, who was the Butkus Award winner. He actually won that over Abdul Carter for the best defensive player in the country. He's 6'2", 250, and they say he could probably run like in a 4.4 range. Linebacker out of Alabama, Jihad Campbell, who is an off-ball linebacker, but he came out of high school playing edge. He is 6'3", 250, who's also going to run in the 4.4s today. And his tape, when he sees the ball, he just gets it. He's awesome. And then the last one out of Texas A&M, Shamar Stewart, who is just a freak. He is 6'6", 280, and they think he's a 5-star coming out, and he think he can run in the 4.5s today at 6'6", like 270, 280. So, yeah, there's a lot of freaks, a lot of them out of the SEC coming out today who are going to run well.
Well, of course, you're on ESPN, so you're going to say that.
Well,
this guy, man.
That makes sense.
One was from Michigan, though. But, no, there's going to be a lot of big dudes running fast. And that's kind of been the tradition, not tradition, the way that the draft has gone. A lot of guys getting bigger and a lot of guys getting faster.
A lot of workouts, a lot of meetings, a lot of medical, also a lot of people speaking to the media. We heard Brett Veach speak on the Travis Kelce future conversation and speculation. We heard Coach Andy Reid speak on the speculation of Travis Kelce's future. And I decided to reach out to sources who know and say, like, hey, are we playing next year? To my source says, and message was my dog! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point.
3.
Source says I'm coming back for sure. Going to try and get to the best shape I've been this offseason and get back to the mountaintop. Got a real bad taste in my mouth with how I played in that last game and how I got the guys ready for battle. I can't go out like that. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, and guess what? One more exclamation point.
Wow. Huge.
Okay, so that's the Travis Kelce future conversation.
So he's probably coming back.
I think you could probably. I think you could say. I think you could say Travis Kelce's coming back to play football yet again, and I think he had that idea. I would assume before the Super Bowl, whenever he did media day, he said in 3 years I see myself playing football yet. But then with the way that game goes, knowing that he is an Ohio guy who's a football guy. With how everything has gone and what his career has been. Remember, the Chiefs weren't always good when he was on that team. He had to persevere. He had to continue to grow, evolve. He got better as a player, as a human, I would assume he would predict, as a professional, everything. And then he's gotten to the point now where he's in GOAT conversations with anybody that's talking about tight ends. That's a situation that doesn't happen to many players in the history of the game. And obviously, he has represented our sport fantastically while dating the most famous person on earth.
Yeah.
We love Travis. Now, obviously, whenever you're in the public eye, there are going to be things that are going to come out from people's mouths that aren't as positive all the time. There's going to be reasons for people to hate Travis Kelce. There's going to be reasons for people to hate the Kansas City Chiefs. There's going to be reasons for people to hate Taylor Swift, even though a lot of it makes no sense to me. Sometimes, if you're just on the top of the mountain, people are going to throw rocks at things that shine. Shout out Taylor Swift for that particular quote. But what you can't deny is the greatness of Travis Kelce. You can't deny that he is one of one. You can't deny that he is an anomaly. You can't deny that the guy loves ball. Fully committed. And in the Andy Reid accountability-driven type building, I don't think enough credit is given about this guy being an absolute dog. Day in, day out, showing up to work, already great, already rich, already has a resume, already in the Hall of Fame. And it's like he's a guy that loves ball. And we love Travis. And I'm excited to see him get back on the field, get in the best shape that he's been. I'm excited to see what that means because a lot of people think he could potentially get distracted by Taylor. I think he gets motivated by Taylor.
Sure.
Yes.
I think like those two being together makes them both want to continue to grow and get even better. I'm excited to see what he looks like coming back next year.
Yeah, and look what they do every offseason, the Kansas City Chiefs. They reload. I assume after the game there were probably some thoughts like, hey, if Rashee Rice is out on that field, if we are fully healthy, and no team by the time they get to the Super Bowl is fully healthy, but I assume those thoughts creep in. He just started kind of coaching Rashee Rice up. Like he was off to a historic start for the Kansas City Chiefs, Rashee Rice, before, he was out for the season. Then even just look at his brother. When his brother Jason lost the Super Bowl to the Chiefs, he came back for a year. Obviously, last year the Eagles lose to the Bucs in the first round. He ends up retiring. I bet Jason Kelce probably wish he didn't retire.
He's open about it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those things too. And if you were to talk to the closest people around him, I bet their advice would be like, hey, why the hell would you retire? You guys are still in prime position to go back to the Super Bowl. It's not like after that loss, they're going to completely crumble. They still have Mahomes. It's still Andy Reid. Their team is still unbelievable. Guys still want to go to Kansas City and, ring chase and kind of be in the conversation as one of those top 4 teams in the league. And it feels like the Chiefs are going to be right back where they were last year. And Kelce being in the best shape of his life, I'm sure they're going to be even better. And they were the 1 seed, so who knows?
We talked about how everybody said they were playing bad as being the chip on this team that's in the middle of a dynastic run, back-to-back world champions, and then people are saying this team's not good, this team's not good. All that does, and I think AJ brought it up when he was there Super Bowl week at Radio Row. He is on a cruise right now for Ohio State in the middle of the Caribbean. He'll be back next week. But he chit-chatted about how, all you people that are saying you hate the Chiefs and you think they're bad and all that stuff, like you are their motivation. Like when those guys get to the top of the mountain, they're trying to find chips to put on the shoulder. So now getting your ass beat in your stage, that is your stage. The Super Bowl has become your residency. And play bad, get your ass beat, people chirp loud. It's like there's almost like I assume a resurgence that's about to happen in that Kansas City building. Do you feel the same, Mad Mel?
Yeah, without a doubt. And then also people, on top of it are cherry picking plays, from the game when they're getting killed and saying, oh, this guy doesn't care anymore. This guy doesn't want to play hard anymore. And I think, a big part of it too is they talk about, hey, the media aspect. He's going to be able to get whatever job he wants. He's going to be on whatever pregame desk he wants. He's in the next, Happy Gilmore movie, all that kind of stuff. So why would you play? You're going to be one of the biggest stars on the planet. All that stuff's still going to be there, okay? This guy isn't going to wake up tomorrow and all of a sudden not be able to play football anymore, not want to play football anymore. I think you mentioned it's a big part of it. You date someone like Taylor Swift, like you're not just riding coattails and saying, oh, well, she's a billionaire, I'm going to be able to do nothing, and he's very wealthy on his own. But you see how hard she works, touring everywhere, having 150, 200 shows a year, going to every single continent. If you're in love with someone and you're around someone all the time, like guess what? That's reigniting that fire in your own body to say, hey, you know what? Like Connor mentioned,
I can be a better me.
I can be a better me. I'm going to get in the best shape of my life, okay? We're not that. We just lost in the Super Bowl. Listen, the Chiefs are going to be around, okay? They're going to have an opportunity to win another Super Bowl next year. It makes sense. I mean, Kelce's going to play until the wheels fall off.
Mad Mel, you do love, don't you?
Who doesn't?
There are people out there that want
the devil.
Satan?
I bet he does.
I think he does love, actually.
With himself. So there is, I guess that'd be more of an infatuation, some people have.
Yeah, lust, I suppose you could say.
But a lot of people said that their relationship was all bullshit. But it turns out that their relationship might be the greatest thing that has happened in like the zeitgeist of the most famous people on earth. And then also for Travis Kelce to be like, oh, I could, because you watch greats. He is one in the NFL. How they work, how they go about doing their thing, how you can continue to learn and evolve and get better as you go through. People are always trying to take shit from other people. Like Tyrese said the biggest thing about the Olympics was watching the other guys work and how they go about doing their things. Like whenever we get to go watch the WWE do their thing and we see them do stuff, and it's like, you can learn from that. I'm assuming that Travis is learning a lot of shit about a lot of shit from Taylor, because she is, we're talking about the one here. And her work ethic, and I've heard some songs, through my wife, and she's dated some bums and it has not worked out.
Without a doubt.
No doubt.
I think the reason why this is going to work out is because Travis is not a bum. He's an Ohio guy, football guy. He's got a work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants to continue. So I love everything about
Let's not forget Mahomes is in his revenge hair era as well. So
He's been waiting to cut that hair.
for years.
I said it last year.
He said in that quarterback documentary,
Yeah.
he said, I don't want to be the dad with a mullet. I want to cut my hair, but we're winning. So I can't. It's hard for me.
He cut it pretty quickly.
Yeah, he couldn't wait. As soon as that game was over,
He looks a lot younger, too.
Yeah, he looks good. Like, I think this is exactly what he potentially thought. Like, maybe sometimes he pulled his hair back and was like, I can look like an adult if I really want to do it. And that was his words, not ours.
Correct.
And he did. He pulled the trigger. And on Texas Tech, that kid buried that putt. Did you see that full court putt?
That was sweet.
Patrick jumped up with the thing. Looks like he's obviously
having a great time.
He had a shiny
He loves it
cross
there.
on, too.
Yeah, he does. He's good. Hey, the Chiefs is still the Chiefs, I think.
Yeah,
Even though the Eagles is definitely the Eagles.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, we need to remember that the Eagles is definitely the
I
Eagles.
bet you the Chiefs probably take a couple of linemen in this draft.
Yeah, that's what Andy Reid did the last time they lost in the Super Bowl to a team that got a lot of pressure and were able to do their thing to an offensive line. They reloaded the offensive line. So let's assume they'll do the same this offseason. Coach Matt Rhule from Nebraska, formerly of the Carolina Panthers and of Baylor and Temple, will join us in about 25 minutes or so.
Okay.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is ESPN fantasy expert, draft guru, football genius. Ladies and gentlemen, Field Yates.
Yeah, Phil.
See you again. How you doing?
Good to see you.
Okay. What up, dude? Good to see you, dude. I was clean. All right.
Yeah, good dap ups all the way around.
Yeah, it was pretty clean.
It's a good shirt.
That was big. That was big.
The dap?
Yeah, worked on it. I knew Matt and Mel was going to be here. I couldn't let him down.
All right, so we need to...
It's wrapped around
pull this up.
Yeah,
Pop that thing
the
up.
cord. No, other way.
There you go. There you go.
We kind of set you up to fail there.
It's okay.
That was rich.
And you got to lift that. Yeah, and you can tighten if you need to.
There we go.
That
Now we're
was
good.
rich.
We good? Better?
Field, you look great.
Thank you.
Come on, Field.
I appreciate that. Means a lot.
Field, somehow you look younger this year than you did last year. Doesn't he, Mad Mel?
He does. Clean shaven.
Yeah, you look...
That's what it was, right? No,
Yeah.
I haven't shaved in a while, so it doesn't make much of a difference, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's actually a 2-week, 5-hour...
It's Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day. I shaved right before the big night out.
Okay, so let's talk about this time of year. Obviously, very exciting for you, draft boards.
Yeah.
Potential draft picks, combine scouting. What is your big takeaway? What are you into right now? What is the big conversation point around Field Yates radio?
I love the combine week, not just because it's here in Indianapolis, but also because it allows you to fill in some of the blanks on some of these prospects. Players that are further down the board, I don't think are going to move as much for me, but some of the players at the very top, you're trying to get a great feel of, hey, I might think this guy is the 10th best player in the draft, but maybe some people around the NFL think he's closer to 15 or 20. And in some cases, as ridiculous as it may seem, you guys all know this now, like there are some positions and some players that the difference between a 4.48 40 and a 4.52 40 could be the difference between going 10th or 20th overall. He's not going to work out this week, but Will Johnson, cornerback from Michigan, is like a good example of somebody that I'm thinking of when I talk about the difference of a 5/100th of a second, that this guy who was a great player for his entire college career, but if you just look at historical trends, there aren't that many 4, 5, or slower corners that have gone in the first 8, 10, 12 picks. So it could
I got to
influence
move him safety in there.
Which is a ridiculous thing to do, truthfully. The guy was such a great player at Michigan, but the league has told us, and we see it every year, guys slide down just a little bit because of a 40-yard dash or, the 3-cone, whatever it might be.
Xavier Worthy just ran a 4.21. They're saying 2 more guys are about to run 4.2s, including another wide receiver. That's why the corners have to be fast.
Got to be fast, yeah.
It's like it is a unicorn island out there.
My gosh.
You got to earn. Now, this is not me downgrading anybody's football ability, especially old buddy Will up at Michigan. I'm not saying that. But having enough, being able to put your ego aside enough to move positions to go to the NFL is a big part of this whole thing as well. I think learning about the guys personally is what a lot of these coaches kind of want to find out about here at the Combine. Yeah. How have you heard about those things going?
I've heard more feedback already this week about the interviews than anything that's taken place, or probably anything that will take place over these next few days. And usually it's not like the average. It's usually the guys that you sit there and you say to yourself, I don't know if that guy's that great of a player, but at least I know the floor is high because of the human that he is. Or there's a guy that seemingly has all the talent in the world, and you just don't feel like when you make this guy, well, maybe not, with the NIL era, some of these guys already are extremely well paid, but like for some of these guys, they're going to become overnight millionaires. And listen, we all, at a certain age of our life, 22, 23 years old, if you handed me a 7-figure check, it'd be hard to keep your focus and motivation.
Anybody that's going to get a 7-figure check from this draft is already a millionaire.
Yeah, yes, that's probably true. That's probably a good point.
Yeah, right? That's the world that we're in right now.
It's true, yeah. But
which goes back to the people. Hold on, though. That goes back to like trying to find people that still are dogs and still work hard.
Yeah, totally.
And still want to go and get it, because they've been rich for a while. Caleb Williams was trying to start an investment fund.
Yes, right. Yeah.
Before he got drafted, it's like this guy has enough money to start a fund.
Sure.
Before he even gets drafted, it's like, how's he going to continue to maintain motivation? It's like, well, he's chasing greatness. It's like, not everybody at every position is doing that, though, and you got to find those guys.
Totally. I actually used a couple of years ago, and I wasn't doing this role for ESPN, so I wasn't as deep in the weeds on the draft coverage, but Puka Nacua obviously becomes this unbelievable 5th-round pick. And so what I told myself going into last year's draft,
unbelievable bowler.
Allegedly,
guy does it all. I said I'm going to start surveying scouts and just say, like, give me a player that fits the Puka Nacua mold, not in the sense that you think he's going to become an all-pro right away, but regardless of how talented or not talented he is, you're betting on the person, and you're just saying to yourself, like, I'll take 22 of those guys and feel like I got a shot. And so I started to do that exercise this year as well. And I'm not talking about guys that are going to go necessarily in the first round, but it is interesting when you hear the guys that are going to go in the first round. Like I just scouted, he said the first name that comes to mind, he goes, Travis Hunter. He goes, no doubt. He goes, do you understand the discipline it takes to not just, play 115 snaps a game is ridiculous. Literally nobody else does it, right? But twice the positional meetings, twice the film study, like just the conditioning is a huge aspect to it. And he was like, I don't care.
Can't be putting any bad things in your body.
Nope.
Like there's like a level of professionalism that has to be there.
Totally. And
every human body would break down.
They almost said like, it's maybe this isn't the perfect word, but it's almost like he's almost boring in some ways, in the sense that like it's ball and more ball, right? Like there's not a lot of distraction in Travis Hunter's life, which with the amount of money that I'm sure he's making and the amount of people that I'm sure want a piece of him, for him to avoid that distraction, I think only reinforces why not just one of the best prospects in the draft, but also probably one of the best people in the draft that you can count on, whether he goes probably somewhere between 1 and 4 by the time it's all said and done.
Okay, so this is a question for what you guys do.
Yeah.
Okay, the whole draft mock thing. Why are people saying this is a deep 3 to 5 draft class? If it's a deep 3 to 5, why aren't they 2 or 1? Like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I don't think I know exactly what that means. Like, hey, the 5th rounders really good this year.
Look out.
Like, well, why aren't they 4th rounders?
Right.
I don't think I fully understand. So, can you understand the framing whenever that's said, as opposed to what my mindset is like, well, if they're then why aren't they?
Right, why don't you just move up the board? If they're so good in the 3rd, why don't they just become 2nd or 1st? It is a good question. And I thought about this because I was going through, I keep like a sort of a running document of these guys, because the process begins for the draft really basically like May of the preceding year. So guys like Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders, who you knew were going to be highly regarded prospects this year, you start looking at them initially, not doing every last bit of homework you're going to do on them, but you start to get a sense. And I think, like, I was realizing, like, I called a lot of guys when I was looking, like, has the look of a 3rd-round pick, and you're like, what does that even mean?
Yes.
And it's like, I think where I landed was
a slower 40,
a little slower wide receiver, but has great hands, right? Or like, he's a smaller guy, but he's tough and he blocks, and you're just sort of like, is that the spectrum you should be evaluating these players on? Because it does feel like that has become the theme of this class, is that you'd much rather have a bunch of bites at the apple from, call it 75 to 150, as opposed to the team that has 2 first-round picks, which, interestingly enough, there have been no traded picks for the first time in a long time in the 1st round. There will be at some point, but it's a very clean draft in terms of the order to begin.
Well, you trade whenever you're desperate for a certain position, and position has not been talked about in high regards, which leads to Mad Mel, I assume.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you about, Field. Obviously, in your most recent mock draft, you didn't have any trades in there.
Yeah.
Didn't have any trades in the first round.
You made that rule, Mel.
Well, I had to, because we don't know. But when you look at this draft, and everyone's talking about, hey, what are the Tennessee Titans going to do with the first pick? Do you feel like we're going to have next to no trades in the first round because teams just aren't going to be as desperate to, give an absolute ransom to move up when we might only have, 10 to 15 guys with true first-round grades?
I think we'll end up having some trades at the top for this reason. It kind of reminds me of where we were from picks 9 through 12 last year, where at 10 the Jets end up trading back to 11 with the Vikings, and you're like, why are you moving up one spot? It was just to beat the Broncos, right? It was to ensure that Denver didn't move ahead of the Vikings and potentially draft J.J. McCarthy, who, as we know, was Minnesota's preferred target there. That could happen at the top. If you look at the order there, let's imagine a world in which the Giants and the Raiders don't land a veteran quarterback. They need to draft a quarterback early, right? Well, the Jets may be in the same boat. If they go into the draft with only Tyrod Taylor and Jordan Travis, who was their 5th-round pick last year, they're probably saying to themselves, we'd like a young quarterback too. So if the Jets call the Jaguars and say, we're trying to get ahead of Vegas, that might cause a chain reaction that might lead to Vegas calling the Patriots and saying, we're trying to get back ahead of the Jets. So I think we'll see some tinkering there. And because you're right, and now I'm starting to wonder whether I should even use this construct anymore. There's not as many guys that, in every single draft class would be regarded as clear-cut first-round picks. You might see some movement there in the 20 to 32 range.
Just because.
Some of it's just because, but a few years ago, the Bills moved up to get Dalton Kincaid, and the Jags moved up to get Anton Harrison. You start to see that
but also
stuff
the guys, the teams that are on the earlier pick side of that particular trade are we'll take a little bonus because we're not 100% sold on somebody. So it's an easier deal maybe to get done in this particular draft class if you start listening the way it is. So maybe there is more action than we expect because it's easier to kind of finagle around.
I do think it's one of the best parts of the draft too. I find it always exciting when
you got Travis going 1 there.
Yeah,
okay?
I do. Yeah,
you got Travis going 1, which then would lead Cleveland saying we're not passing on Abdul Carter.
Yeah, no. Though this mock was before Shefty came out and basically said the Browns are taking a quarterback at number 2. You might as well. I wouldn't go as far as Sharpie, but we're thinking about the Browns and Cam Ward might be the fit there. I feel the two non-quarterbacks are the 2 best players in the draft. Obviously, if the quarterback hits, it's more valuable. I haven't had the same level of confidence in these 2 quarterbacks as I had with the 3 at the top last year for sure. But even I think J.J. McCarthy would be a healthy debate with these 2 players. J.J. obviously was the 5th quarterback taken, but I viewed him as the 4th.
I mean, you're talking about a number 3 overall pick right here. Whenever he's saying I don't feel as good about as last year's quarterbacks or whatever, people are going to say he's talking down on these. Still the number 3 overall pick in the NFL. Yeah, this is not a. Yeah, this is not a.
Yeah, and they're going to go high. I think the floor for either of these guys is probably I just can't imagine both of them don't end up in the first 7 to 9 picks, and it could end up being first 2 out of 3 picks. And the reality is that in the case of a team like the Giants, I say this all the time. When the owner comes out and says after the season, we're keeping our head coach and our GM, it means they got to get something done the next year or else they won't be around beyond that season. So if you're the Giants and you don't swing a trade for Matthew Stafford or find somebody on the veteran market, you're not going into next year they don't have a quarterback on the roster right now, but you're not going back on. You're not going to re-sign Drew Lock or
Tom DeVito.
Yeah, Tommy Cutlets and say, hey, we're going to save our job. So
how do you feel about Italians, Field?
I love them.
Yeah, how could you not?
I don't know how you couldn't. Yeah,
Connor has a question.
You know what?
You.
I had some good meals down in Epcot. I know you were at Disney last week, right?
Yeah.
Italy and Epcot. Maybe the best food offerings of the entire place. Did you get there or no?
No, I didn't make it to the whole world thing. I should have, but we were there with the daughter.
Yeah, around the world.
I want to do the
drink around the world.
Got to do it.
Drink around the world.
Yeah, so
real boozed up.
Got to do it.
But then I think Mackenzie's gonna have to be a little bit older.
Sure.
Probably have a couple friends.
Yeah,
have a whole.
That's what we did. Our 3-year-old was. She was in her happy place. It was great.
Dude, it was awesome.
The best.
I had such a good time down there.
Oh, it's awesome.
Watching her just lose her mind was crazy. And then I just cut everybody at Guardians of the Galaxy and looked like the biggest asshole.
How did that go? It worked?
Nah, I looked like biggest asshole of all time. But when you got on the ride and then kind of when you cleared the room,
you forget pretty quick.
It was awesome. ahead, Connor. Go ahead.
Yeah, so obviously right now everyone's kind of waiting to see what happens with Stafford and, Rodgers and some other guys.
Yeah.
Do you think it is possible where if there is none of those, quarterbacks signed in those first 3 picks between, Cleveland, the Giants, and Tennessee, who I think we all consider teams that are looking for quarterbacks, that there's a trade up to 1 where let's say Tennessee ends up being, a Stafford or a Rodgers destination where they might end up moving the first pick? Or do you even see where, even if the Giants were to get a Rodgers or something along those lines, that they still might just take a quarterback because they don't want to be or expect to be up there in the, next few years?
I think what's interesting for Tennessee is that they might be able to drum up a bidding war between Cleveland and the Giants. And not that either one of them would for sure make that move up there, but just because, you'll hear this often. I think DJ may have said it just a few minutes ago as well. Like, I think the league on average views Cam Ward as a higher rated prospect than Shedeur Sanders. But if the Giants say, hey, listen, we're bigger Shedeur Sanders guys than Cam Ward guys, or we're bigger Cam Ward guys than Shedeur Sanders guys, and Cleveland might see it the same way, then you're not going to settle, right? Like, teams view quarterbacks, it's like house hunting. Like, you got different preferences than other people do, what you actually want in that player. So Tennessee might be able to say, hey, if we think Cleveland and New York are both, they would both take Cam Ward without a problem, but would bypass Shedeur Sanders, might be able to create some leverage there and potentially move down. The difference that Tennessee has in those guys, they both, all 3 teams need a quarterback, but first-year GM, second-year head coach from Brian Callahan, they don't need to solve the quarterback situation right now to make sure that they're still going in 2026 and beyond. And while Will Levis, there's more questions than answers so far, still young enough, and it was a highly drafted enough player, you could probably talk yourself into another year of trying to develop him a little bit further.
I'm fascinated by, like if the Raiders draft a quarterback, which everybody's assuming, or maybe they get a veteran quarterback, depending upon who's skiing where.
Yeah, there you go.
When and all that type of stuff. It's like you go to a team with Tom Brady as one of the owners, like that's a pretty good spot, seemingly. Even though you wouldn't expect that. And the Raiders are like, we need a quarterback in this world. Well, it'd be nice to go to a place with Tom as a potential mentor automatically.
Yeah, and everyone wants a young quarterback, and Sam Darnold's sitting there at, 27? 28?
Yeah.
It's not like he's 35. Like, you could get him for 10 years.
One game. That last
game.
Last 2 games. Last 2 games.
Influential couple of games. Yeah, Sam came out really young. I think he was the youngest of those 5 quarterbacks that went in the first round back in 2018. So it seems weird to think that he's still very much in the prime of his career, whatever you define his prime as. But Sam will do well for himself in a couple weeks here.
Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, while we're talking quarterbacks, I wanted to ask you about Quinn Ewers because not this time last year, but let's say after the draft last year, he was basically a guaranteed first-round pick.
Yeah.
And then it came out, we thought he was playing all season long with a sprained oblique or whatever it was. Comes out he was playing all season with a torn oblique.
Yeah.
People you're talking to, does that make a difference? Like, are they watching his 2024 tape differently and maybe reverting back to 2023? Is his stock going to rise because it came out that he was playing all year with a torn oblique?
Yeah, I think some people that I talked to had a general sense that was what Quinn was dealing with, and they admired the to play through that.
Absolutely.
And
Texas
the way,
boy.
And Texas had somebody, we all know, they had Arch waiting in the wings. It wasn't like he played because the only option Texas had at quarterback was him, and if he's letting his entire team down if he doesn't play, and they're going to go, 5-7 or something. Quinn had an interesting year this year. The Michigan game back in week 2 of the college football season looked great. We're in this time of the NFL. We're not all, but so many of these quarterbacks have the ability to impact you with their legs, right? These guys are probably better athletes now than they ever have been, with some exceptions, Stafford types and a few others. But for the most part, you think about some of the best quarterbacks in the AFC and NFC championship games. It's Jalen Hurts and Jaden Daniels and then Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. 4 guys that can really impact the game with their legs. So Quinn's not really going to do that. The arm strength is the part that's come into evaluation with that context, because it's
hard to throw with.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a cannon arm, but when you've got really little ability to kind of torque your frame and drive footballs, it's going to look like it did for much of this past year. So I think this week, we were talking about the interviews at the beginning of this segment, this would be a good week for Quinn in that regard, right? He's got some natural leadership skills, and he'll do well in terms of meeting with coaches and getting a better feel for the kind of person he is. if I had to guess right now, probably feels like round 3 for Quinn. But that could be influenced a lot by not just the interviews this week, but also the medical evaluations. The doctors say, hey, I know you're playing through it for the past 4 months, but it's not going to be an issue come OTAs or minicamp.
I'll tell you what, if you're looking for a guy that loves ball, especially at the quarterback position, which you're going to want, playing through a very significant real injury, especially at the quarterback role, would be a good place to start the conversation. He's been a star since, high school? I remember him with that mullet, getting millions of dollars. He had to travel up to Ohio State.
Skipped his senior year.
Yeah, absolutely.
The original NIL, right? Like, he was the first guy that put it on the map, really.
And he evolved from the 17-year-old into this 22-year-old that he is, or 21-year-old, whatever he is, with, dieting and life happening and football happening and everything. It's like, you got a lot of guys that I think could be great. Like Cam Ward, every time I see a video of him and the way he operates, it's like, it feels like he's a good leader. It feels
awesome.
Oh, yeah. And then Shedeur Sanders' toughness and that in itself of leadership, and then everything he's been around, is like, he could be a great pro. I think there's a lot of guys where it's like, these guys could be great pros, as opposed to each year there's a conversation like, this guy will be a great pro, right? That's kind of the difference.
Yeah, and I think that this year too, and we should probably remind ourselves of this more every year, but where you end up and who you end up with can influence your outlook so much. I think Jaden Daniels, the best recent example, I think Jaden was probably due for success probably anywhere he went. But I think that his success somewhere else might not have been quite to the level that it was in Washington last year with a coach that had been there and done that, and a coordinator that had been a head coach and called a lot of plays, and some good veterans around him. And so I think this year, the fit for these guys will influence the outlook so much more. Probably the best example from last year's class, truthfully, is Bo Nix, because Bo had a ton. He played forever in college, had a ton of experience, and it wasn't that Bo didn't have a lot of good tape. It was the question was, did Bo do enough things during his time at Oregon that if that was all he was capable of doing at the NFL level, would they travel, right? The average depth of his targets at Oregon last year, a lot of it was just dink dunk and let the guys do the hard work after the catch, right? But the reality for Oregon was that they said, why would we bother? Do we need Bo to go bombs away when we're crushing teams every single week, putting up 45 points and throwing for 450 yards? And then in Denver, he showed, he had a couple of ropes this past year. Him and Marvin Mims down the stretch.
And Sean Payton's offense was perfect for him.
Perfect. He had, the offensive line was amongst the best in the NFL. That was
You talked about Bo playing a lot of football, which I think is a big deal. That's becoming the new, talking point for some of these quarterbacks who played a lot of ball. Cam's played a lot of ball.
5 years,
Shedeur's played a lot of ball.
4 years,
Jackson's played a lot of ball.
Yep.
Will's played a lot of ball.
Yeah, a lot of guys, a lot of experience. Really, if you think about the guys that probably have a chance to go early, amongst, at least in terms of the quarterback construct, Jalen Milroe, a two-year starter, is probably the least experienced.
I'd say there's a lot of.
But that's still, 2 years. That's we've seen guys in recent drafts 1 season and they're getting taken.
Tyler Shuck's been there for 8 years.
Yeah, Tyler Shuck, who that guy's interesting. He's gonna have a good week out here throwing the ball. It's really natural for him. He was a highly regarded recruit coming out of high school way back in the day. He ended up at Oregon, Texas Tech, and then finished up at Louisville this past season. 26 on, I think, September 28th, so the age will be a factor there. But I don't know. I tend to think of it with these quarterbacks that are playing until 35, 36. You could have a decade of Tyler Shuck if you believe enough in the player.
Yeah, Whedon came in at 27.
Yeah, exactly. Pitched for the Yankees. When you look at a guy like Jalen Milroe, who maybe didn't have the greatest Senior Bowl, how much can he kind of erase that this week at the Combine? Or is that kind of, hey, Hayes in the barn. This guy's got tiny hands and he played like shit at the Senior Bowl. It is what it is.
You tell us, Mad Mel. What do you think?
Well, his hands are small, very small. So guess what? He better be going to a warm weather city. Okay,
that's part of it.
I don't know. Do you want to
so fast?
Do you want to draft a quarterback?
So he's faster than everybody.
He is, but do you want to draft a quarterback in the second round who your game plan is going to be? All right, hey, listen, we're going to give you 40 carries today,
maybe,
and we're not going to throw the football.
Hey, it's power football world.
I'd like him. I would, and this takes the right starting quarterback ahead of him who's willing to let somebody else take a package of plays away from him, but. I like Jalen right away as getting almost like a platoon role for a team at quarterback, because you're right, the passing down to Mobile was inconsistent. It was inconsistent this past season. If he runs, I don't know if he will run, but it's going to be amongst the fastest times of any player here this week at the Combine. And if you get an offensive coordinator, and I tend to think right now we're sort of seeing the haves and the have-nots in the NFL. You just watch a game and you know if the coordinator knows what he's doing. One that knows what he's doing with this guy will find a way to take advantage of this speed, because, again, I know I just mentioned we're in this era of incredibly athletic quarterbacks. He'd be on the short list for most athletic the minute he walks onto an NFL
I think
field.
every coach that either coached at Alabama or played against Alabama, I forget, said he would be the best running back in the SEC if he was the running back. I mean, it's like not even
Bill
a question.
O'Brien.
Yeah, it might have been Bill. Bill O'Brien tried to make it happen, which actually gave a spite to Jalen Milroe, and obviously Alabama was able to win a lot of games with Jalen Milroe at quarterback, and that is a good thing. But in college ball and NFL ball, it is different. I mean, that's just a matter of fact, the way it operates, the way it goes. It's like Jalen gets on a team, put him as an X-back. Yeah, you can have him take some snaps, have him do a tush push if you want to do. He's incredibly strong, and he is loved in that locker room. The boys love Jalen Milroe.
Yeah, spent a little time around him both at the Senior Bowl and prior to that. He's an easy guy. I mean, he comes from a background, military parents, super disciplined. Like, the guy is a great leader. Like, I really do believe the right team will have Jalen Milroe not just find success, but like sooner rather than later. Like, if you look at all the singular traits that the various players in this class have, his rushing ability is one of the more undeniable ones. And he's got a cannon down the field as well. He's got to totally refine the short and intermediate passing game work, but he can chuck it down the field. And you can just imagine some mad scientist offensive coordinator who runs the ball with him 12 straight times, and the next thing you know, fake the run and just bombs away for a 50-yard touchdown.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch how it all pans out. You know, there's going to be a lot of guys that get drafted that suck, too.
That's true.
Let's never forget that.
Most of them usually. Most of them usually.
Yeah, percentages tell us a lot of these guys right out here, they can be selling insurance. They're going to be doing
very well, though.
Strength coach. There's going to be a lot of strength coaches out here.
Yeah, some big boys.
Coaches, future coaches out here.
Bet.
Yeah.
But out here, too, there's going to be Hall of Famers.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
It's the beauty of it. Like, there's been probably less buzz around this draft class in total compared to last year's, just because the talent at the top is not regarded as the same way. I think this is a great draft for scouting departments that know what they're doing, man. Like, I bet the Rams, who have done a great job.
You were a former scout,
years,
right? Is that correct?
Yeah, but I can't take too much credit for, it was the Chiefs before they were what they are now.
But you were a scout.
I worked for the Chiefs for a couple of seasons, and then things got a lot better. So maybe I was the problem, not the solution.
Okay.
Hey, but Bill, last season during the draft, Bill Belichick trusted you. So
yeah. Bill, who I worked with the Patriots prior to the time in Kansas City, and that was very, very cool to see Bill take a look at that top 50 and use it during the extravaganza, which Green Bay doing it again. Spectacular. Excuse me. That was a bad one there.
You were in the right,
You were there, yeah.
The right
type of word.
I was too busy thinking about this great point I was going to make that probably won't be that great. This is a draft that I can imagine the teams like the Rams, who have nailed the draft in recent years by just finding guys in all parts, like all corners, right? Like, the first-round pick, Jared Verse, was great, but like second-round pick, Braden Fisk, and then 2 years ago, Puka Nacua in the fifth, like Cam Kinchins in the third round last year. They're probably sitting there saying,
"That's a good point.
You guys don't like it? We'll take rounds 3 for 5 and just feast."
Hey, that was a good point. You said it wasn't going to be a good point. That was a great point. That was a great point.
Mike Vrabel's team now.
Yeah.
They're going to have a great draft.
Yeah, I mean,
I think pick 4 is looking good right now. I think those 2 quarterbacks could end up, like, if you have to settle for one of Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter.
Yes, please.
Sprint that card in.
Yes, please.
I'll let you do the honors of sprinting it in.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. I want one of those two so bad.
What do we got? Compensation and opportunity, they say.
That's right.
That's what Vrabel.
Yeah, there was a new update about T. Higgins, though, that they're not going to rush to T. Higgins, allegedly. Who knows?
Well, that's because T. Higgins allegedly not going to be let out of the building down there. So why would you,
True.
Yeah.
That's an interesting leverage play there, probably by all sides. Excited to see how it all works out. Draft season is the greatest, and that's when we get a chance to watch this big brain on this baby face operate at science level. We appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. Field Yates.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, man. You look really cool. You look really, really cool. Really, really cool.
All right, Field.
Appreciate that. I look really cool.
Always do.
Always a pleasure, Phil.
Good to see you, man.
Yep. See you soon.
Belmont Hill guy, cookies and milk.
Thank you, Phil.
Hey, no more milk and cookies anymore.
Yeah, they're getting tougher.
What do you mean? They got rid of it?
Got rid of it. It's gone.
Wow.
Yeah, Elon got rid of it.
No, I believe
Doge came through with the cookies?
Yep.
The milk's fine. The cookies getting a little pricey.
I was listening to you and Field's podcast earlier on the drive-in. It's pretty good.
First draft. Great show.
Mad Mel, you and, of course, I remember.
Yep.
Yeah, I know that happened.
Fantasy Focus or
First draft.
Please. Not a fantasy guy, okay? Not doing that bullshit.
I wasn't sure which
but
podcast.
yeah, first draft, I think twice a week, I believe.
We got a potential Favre sitch brewing with the program.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
What?
Allegedly.
With what?
Which, if you check the tape, I think we got to cover the biggest news.
Oh, no way.
Serious?
Yeah. Potential. I mean, it's being, yeah. And I been down this road before. Got to talk about everything that's being talked about.
It's all out there.
Especially if the whole world's being talked about it. Especially if you don't use any names.
No names.
No names. We
Just a school.
Obviously, situation, if real, allegedly, not a good one, which we said. We tied it to football. I mean, hey, when you're talking daily sports world and you're talking daily topical pop culture stuff, I mean, that's going to happen. We're okay in the kitchen, though, by the way.
Yeah, the Favre one, we said some things. That we didn't say anything.
Yeah, we feel good in the kitchen. Just with like that, that is our... We didn't create. This is happening. This is allegedly. The reporting though was everywhere. So we feel okay. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who had his time in the NFL, did not work out. Came back to college ball. We assume it will work out because when he's coaching at college, he has success. Has done it everywhere he's ever been. Now he's at Nebraska. Ladies and gentlemen, the head coach, Coach Matt Rhule.
Yeah,
Coach. Good to see you, Coach.
Coach, how are we?
Nebraska's an Adidas school. I'm
See you, Coach.
Nebraska's an Adidas school. Always got some clean shoes. Right behind you.
Good work, Connor.
Boom. Connor, good work. Hold on, the wire's in there. The wire's wrapped around the thing.
Dang it.
We got to fit. No, it's ours.
The field did that.
Yeah, it's happened the last 3 times. Coach, good to see you, Coach. Good to see you.
See ya.
Okay, how do we feel? Now we're all the way back into college ball full time. Last time we chatted with you was transition going into Nebraska, I do believe. How's life? You were giving a lot of great takes on the state of college football and what has changed since the last time you were in college football. How do we feel now? Where are you at right now with college ball and the Nebraska program?
Well, Nebraska's in a great place. It's winning time. We broke the 9-year bowl drought. Not what we want, but we made some positive things.
Here we go. Let's go, Huss.
It's always been year 3 for you.
It's been year 3, so a little pressure on me right? My wife's already planning some different things. I'm like, honey, let's wait till we win before we start spending all that money. So.
It happened at Temple, happened at Baylor. You get your culture in there, get your guys in there, have to flip over. That's why you get hired as a head coach at a place, is to change the culture and do your thing. What is it about this particular year, or maybe this particular team where you're at, where it's like, yeah, we go to a bowl game last year, but it's winning time now. Why do you think that with this squad?
Because we played the best teams in the league last year. We played Ohio State, great team, lost 21-17. Lost a bunch of games at the wire. And people start talking about a curse and all these different things. I told the guys, I said, forget that. It's more talent. It's us being bigger, stronger, better. So year 3, young quarterback, he's going to be really good next year. Really good defense. Got some weapons. Portal's been good to us. So I think we'll be pretty good.
What are you in the middle of spring ball right now?
Mat drills. So I'll be here tonight. I flew here today, support the boys, fly back tonight. 5:30 tomorrow morning on the mat.
Let's go. Let's go.
Old school.
Mat drill is like I don't want to say death camp.
Pretty close.
5:30 a.m. though is the boys aren't sleeping the night before because they're scared they're going to miss the alarm, and if you show up late to this, it's over. That's where you're at right now.
That's not good. But it's I told the guys, I've talked to a couple of guys when they come out here, they're like thinking about running the 40. They're nervous, like, man, what if I run this? What if I run that? Sometimes you just got to go do it. So early on in their college career, man, twice a week, show up, mat drills, lay it on the line, show what you can do. It's hard. Embrace hard things. Kick the drill's ass and see what happens.
I should have done the research, but obviously didn't even know you were out here until you sent me a message, and I'm like, yo, we would love to talk to you, Coach.
I saw Coach Pagano right there. I said, Coach, thank goodness you're back in coaching. Football needs men like Chuck Pagano.
Well, I love that, and we agree, and he is all the way back in. He's excited. You can see a little glow and a little bounce about him that he's back in the world. You football guys are certainly a different animal, a different breed and everything like that, but getting you to come on here, I appreciate it. Your guys, how many guys, I should have done more research, do you have out there, and what do you think is going to happen with your dudes during this combine experience?
Yeah, we have 4 guys at the combine. Ty Robinson, our great defensive tackle, is going to run today. I mean, he's one of your kind of guys. Like, you would love this guy. I mean, the guy's tough, hard-nosed, blue-collar, great athlete. Going to go to medical school when he's done.
Medical?
Wow.
Maybe not one Fargo.
I don't think so.
But a real guy. So, and we have Thomas Fidone, tight end. We have Isaiah Nawar, a receiver, and we have Tommy Hill, corner. So we have 4 guys here. A couple other guys that maybe should have been here. So first time in a long time to have this many. So we're starting to get the thing up and running.
That's awesome. Tone has a question for you,
Coach. You are in the news recently. You in Texas for the spring game. Whether you guys are going to do the spring game or not. So I got to ask you about that. Was it because other teams looking at the film of your spring game, guys not getting enough time in the spring game, so they want to transfer in that spring portal window. What was the thinking behind the spring game? I don't know if the announcement's been made or what has been happening with your spring game, but there was definitely the news for the maybe not playing the spring game this year.
Yeah, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, I was kind of the first guy that said it.
Yes,
it took a little bit of heat, and then all of a sudden,
you and then Sark,
everybody starts coming in behind.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a good idea. So,
Yeah.
I think it was two things. Last year we had our spring game, Big Ten Network. Everyone's watching. It's re-aired, and all of a sudden, I got a line outside my door on Monday. Hey, Coach so-and-so called me from here. So-and-so called me from there. So, what advantage is it for me?
Sure.
I love our fans, and we're going to do something for the fans. But what's the advantage of showing all my young talent and letting other coaches come in and try to tamper with them? And to be quite honest, and this, I'm not a perfect guy. I sat there watching the FCS playoffs, watching those great teams at Montana State, and some kid makes a play, and I'm like, "Who is that guy?"
Now he's quarterback in Iowa. Bring him in.
So I'm like, why would I put my guys out there? I mean, I want my guys to be taken care of, but that's a tough time. April, May, man, we got to get ready for the season. So we'll make some changes.
The two portals is crazy, and I'm experiencing this right now with Rich Rod going back to West Virginia, because these guys come in the first portal, then they get a spring with Rich now, right? Now they get a spring with, hey, it's going to be run a little bit different, I think, than what it had been being run like around here for a little bit. And then right after spring, you're only a couple months out from the season, guys can hit again, and it's like, that needs to be. What is your thoughts? How do we fix this? One portal time, one transfer window?
One portal. Think about it. Basketball has one portal. So why would basketball have one and we have two? It's because our season is different. I get it, but whether it's in January, December, or
April, just keep the April one.
Yeah, but
then you're a couple months out. Yeah,
I mean, how many people leave in April and have a lot of success 2 months later? Yeah. Like I literally could, if I wanted to, I could say who am I playing week 1, and see who goes in the portal from them and take them, and then know what they're going to do against us. So, but I'm with you. Whatever's best for the student athlete, but I think we should pick one. I don't want to negotiate a contract with a guy in December and then renegotiate again in April. Like, you sign up with us, you should sign up for the year. Coaches sign up for the year. And so let's do once a year, whatever's best. If it's April, if it's December. I will say this. I thought it was terrible for the young men. Not just for the teams, but for the young men. The guys had to make a decision. Do I play with my team in the college football playoff, or do I go into the playoffs, or go in the portal because that's what's best for me? So I think one portal window would be way better.
Hey, that college football playoff timing of the transfer portal window being in there was weird, and then some schools were letting their guys be in the portal and then also on the team. Some places weren't available. That was a weird scene popping out there because, whenever people stopped playing in the bowl games, it was like we're going to go to the Toto Toilet Bowl out here. Guys not playing because you don't want to get hurt. College football playoff game, it's like there was conversations of people not playing in it. It's like, come on, man. This is what we're here for.
No doubt.
It's literally what the entire year is all about. You and I think anybody that watches college ball, excited that the players are getting compensated. But there's a ruling coming, right, that's supposed to put some guardrails on it. Have you heard anything about that? And how do you think that, how many years until we get this thing kind of straightened out? Because you are old college football guy, who's been around a long time, and also professional guy who's been around the professional operation, which I think is good for you, especially how Bill and Lombardi feel going back to North Carolina. They feel like having the NFL experience is a good thing, not a bad thing. I assume you feel the same way. But how many years do you think until there is some sort of what the hell's going on?
I think this winter is the first time that I feel like, we might get a handle on this. I think, Commissioner Sankey in the SEC, Tony Petitti at the Big Ten, who obviously comes and talks to us. I want the players to be taken care of. What I don't want is guys playing at 4 colleges in 4 years. Because, hey, I'm the highest bidder. Now I'm the highest bidder. The one thing in football is the desperate team sets the market. And so if a desperate team comes in and they're trying to steal you away from me and, hey, I'll give you $100,000 more, but it's not a good situation, there has to be some guardrails. And I think we're starting to figure out we're on the precipice of it being right, where, hey, we can sign some contracts, multi-year deals maybe, but if you do want to leave, like a coach leaves, they pay a buyout. Maybe there's a buyout. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm feeling better that it might happen.
Big Ten kind of running shit.
Oh, yeah.
Mad Mel has a question for you.
Yeah, speaking of that, early in the season, you said how, hey, listen, the Big Ten is best conference in college football. Paul Feinbaum, obviously, mouthpiece for the SEC, kind of takes a pot shot at you and says, hey, you haven't done anything yet. Why don't you just focus on winning at Nebraska? And then I loved it how you came back and, you dunked on him pretty good after, I think it was after Ohio State won. But like Pat mentioned, the Big Ten kind of dominated the college football playoff. When you look back at the last season in the new Big Ten, different travel, all that kind of stuff. Do you guys feel like you're where you're at, where you need to be in order to compete, with Oregon and USC and Ohio State and Penn State and kind of all these other places who have basically said, hey, listen, we're all in. We're going to, boosters, all that kind of stuff. We're going to put as much money as we need to kind of get this thing going in the right direction.
Yeah, I think this will be the first year where we're on a level playing field. And it's this new settlement, right? So we're going to be spending the same amount of money on our roster that everyone else is. Ohio State, Oregon, they made huge investments last year. Good for them. We've been making big investments, but not at the level they were making at because they were just ahead of us. This new thing now will kind of even things out. And I will say this, kudos to Arizona State, places like that won at the level they did. Well, I mean, Kenny's a coach now. He's a real coach.
A lot of respect from all you, I assume, huh?
100%. Like, that team played really well. But long term, I mean, if you want something out, you got to invest something into it. And so we're at a point now in Nebraska. We have the best facilities in the country, elite fan base. Being in the middle part of the country now in the Big Ten is a good thing. Like, I don't have 4-hour flights. I have a 2-hour flight to L.A., a 2-hour flight to Penn State. I feel pretty good about where
2 hours to L.A. from Nebraska?
2:15. Depends on what plane they
That's you don't got a heavy jet stream coming. You know what I mean?
Going this way. Going this way. Going this way. Coming back. 2:15.
Yeah, I don't know. Gumpy and I did a 6-hour flight from here to San Diego because we had a 4,000 knot headwind. I think is what they told us. We were just sitting in the sky, sitting in the sky. It felt like forever. I believe we're coming up to a hard at here, like here in a matter of moments, like right now. Did that just happen?
Oh, I thought it was 55, 54:30.
53:25. Okay, so we got 15 seconds here. I thought we 54:30. Got it. We've got a 2-week break, Coach.
Yeah.
Coach, 2-week break. And I didn't want to cut you off because you're giving such a great answer. I was actually looking at the clock. I was thinking to myself, we're in trouble. But whenever we continue this program after the Hard Out, we'll still be live on YouTube, ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and TikTok Live. How much social media have you been doing? You've been doing the dances? You've been doing the TikTok and Coach Rhule?
So I walked in the training table the other day, and Harper Murray, our All-American volleyball player, was sitting there with my 9-year-old. She said, Coach Rhule, we're going to go do a TikTok. Now, I'm an anti-TikTok. I won't let the kids have it.
Smart. Love it. You get it.
And my 9-year-old's like, what are you going to say to Harper? And I was like, oh, have fun. So I've had to download TikTok, and I found my daughter all over. She finds people in the facility. Well, I thought I saw 35 of my football players doing TikToks.
How'd you feel?
Well, one of them did it in the facility, which is a hard no. So our strength coach did a TikTok workout this morning with the freshmen. They were pushing plates with their bios and all their cool stuff on there that they love to post everywhere. They're pushing the plate with their bios.
Oh, that's amazing.
But I got to tell you the last part. I know we have a harder. They were doing wall sits at the end, and every freshman had to get out and do a 10-second TikTok dance while the rest of the guys did the wall sit. Welcome to old school.
That was literally, hey, you ended that answer.
That was money.
You ended that story right at the out, and even got our pop in there. Hey, that's good TV work.
Well done,
That's
Coach.
good TV work right there. Okay, we're still live, obviously, on the internet and everything like that. You said welcome to old school.
Yeah.
Coach Rod, I'm talking to him, same exact thing.
Yep.
I think a lot of people are kind of scared to go that way. A lot of the old school coaches and a lot of the good teams aren't. So how have you stayed committed throughout all of the, because I'm assuming there's a lot of people that have said, maybe you do this, maybe you don't do that. And you say, yeah, we're doing TikTok workouts this morning. You think it's cute? Okay, that's cute.
Oh, it's funny.
Yeah, go ahead and read the entirety of as we roll in there. How have you been able to maintain that? And don't you think that's a necessity to win at football? Like, I think at football, you need to be disciplined, you need to be tough, you need to be bought in. Like, I legitimately think that. And they're trying to change it think like. And if you change it, you're not going to win.
They're trying to change it everywhere. I think a couple of things. I think back to all the great players I've coached. Christian McCaffrey, Stephon Gilmore, Deion Dawkins in college, Hassan Reddick. Those guys all wanted that kind of stuff. Like, they wanted to get coached. Like, when you coach Christian McCaffrey, you'd sit there and watch a play, and you were so locked in because he's going to come over and say, hey, did I read that wrong? Like, he wanted real feedback. So all this soft stuff, all the research says it's wrong. The best people in the world don't want it that way. So I think it's my job to do what's best for the players. And if they don't want it and they want to transfer, so be it. But we always say, hey, I'm going to treat you like my own son. Well, my son comes home with a C. Julie Rhule comes across the couch and swinging on him. So, like we're going to treat our players the same way.
We're pushing sleds with a big C on top of it. Wow, it's pretty heavy sled you got here. Yeah, I think it's a necessity in football. I legitimately think it is. And if you don't have it and you lose it, it's gone forever. So you trying to set your culture, that makes sense why year 3 potentially becomes the time. Go ahead, Con, man.
Yeah, new necessity too. And I should have done more research and I should know this, but like the GM role in college is now becoming a thing. Andrew Luck is back in Stanford. Pat mentioned Michael Lombardi with Belichick at UNC. Do you guys have a GM? Is that something where you guys have a working relationship? And what exactly, is on his plate versus yours, or is it very much so like a working relationship? You're giving him stuff like players from Montana State, hey, go and call this guy immediately. How has that relationship been?
Yeah, when we came back in, Sean Patton's been with me forever, took over as the GM. Brilliant, smart. And Mike Lombardi's always been a great friend of ours, a resource. His house down the shore is like 2 towns up from mine.
Okay.
So we always go to see Mike, and he's a great, great man. He's helped me for years. Sean recently moved into a new role where all he's doing now is like contracts, because it's a big role now, dealing with agents. Like where I'm here, he's in the hotels here talking to agents. They're talking NFL guys and college guys at the same time because that's the new normal. And we just hired a guy named Pat Stewart from the New England Patriots, was with us at Cleveland. With us at Carolina. He'll be our new GM. So we're just taking our personnel department, which used to be 4 guys. Then it was 8. Now it's the NFL in college.
Yeah.
And it's what you need to have a chance.
Rich said that yesterday. Like everything you're saying, Rich Rod has been saying like for the last, since he's got back to West Virginia. We're hearing him at the press conference. He said, Raquel, my daughter, and I were looking at the guide or whatever it is. I don't know if you even still have that from 2006. Whenever we were here, he said I had 10 members on the staff. He said we had 2 GAs on offense. I think we had 2 GAs on defense. We had 1 equipment manager guy with everything else, and we somehow were able to do it then. So I assume we're able to do it now. Now it's like 50. You got consultants, you got advisors, you got these people, you got this expert, you got nutritionists. Ours quit.
Well, we'll have a new one.
I believe we'll get a new one. We'll get a new one in there. But it's like it's big operation now, big business. Obviously, I think is probably the reason why, right, Coach?
That's right. We had the same statement the other day. We were sitting in our mat drills. And the players hadn't run in yet, and there might have been like 90 people in there. And Phil Snow, who's like my mentor in coaching, he's 68 years old.
DC.
Yeah, DC for years. And he was like, Matt, we used to have 12 people out here. What the hell? Why do we have all these people? But it's a new world, right? Everyone wants to get involved in it. People will work for not a lot of money to get their foot started. And it is big business, and we're spending a lot of money. We're spending $20.5 million on athletes this year at Nebraska. I mean, just think about that now.
Hey, let's go, Nebraska.
That's awesome. So you need to have the best.
Volleyball players?
Volleyball players. I mean, they are.
Real deal.
I wanted to fly here yesterday and come here last night, and they were like, we have a new coach, Danny Busboom Kelly from Louisville, elite coach, former player there. And they're like, nah, Coach Rhule, Danny has the plane. You'll get it tomorrow morning. And I was like, I get it. Like, volleyball is volleyball in Nebraska.
It's selling out stadium.
Yeah,
that's
selling
right.
out stadium there. Last question here from Tone. We appreciate you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach, you made some coordinator news kind of at the end of last year, bringing in Dana Holgorsen, and now I believe he is going to be your full-time OC. Is it nice having like a former head coach on the staff as well? And then how has him and Dylan Rhule's relationship been through the offseason?
Yeah, I think we beat Wisconsin week 11 to go. We hadn't beat them in 12 years to go to the bowl season, which was awesome. The next week we lost to Iowa, and it was like a gut punch. The way we lost.
We do that.
Yeah, which I respect. Trust me, I respect. But the next day, Dylan was like, Coach, I'm all in. And Dana was like, I'm all in.
Okay.
And they both were kind of like, hey, if he's in, I'm in. It wasn't anything about me. But that felt great because I think they have a great relationship. Dana's what I'm not. Dana's aggressive offensively. He wants to. I mean, there's sometimes he calls things and I'm like, oh, my Lord, we're doing that, Dana? And he's like, but it works. So I love it. So I was so happy to get him. And you're right. When you're a head coach, I can't pick up the phone and call up Coach Ferentz and be like, hey, Coach, what do you think I should be doing here? So to have someone else who's been there, who knows what that feels like is a great resource.
He's electrifying, too.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's electrifying. We got to see it at, obviously, at West Virginia, and then he goes down to Texas Tech, I believe, and does his thing. It's like watching him, chatting with him, loves ball. God, he loves ball. Rhule is going to be a guy, huh?
He's going to be a guy. Yeah, he'll be a guy.
Already is, I guess. But
Is he cutting his hair now that Mahomes cut his hair? Or?
No. It's funny. If I'm being honest, I think he was going to cut his hair anyway, and then when Mahomes didn't, I was like, you can't do it now, bro.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Sure.
That's the whole situation. Hey, listen, if this guy's in your culture, in your building, I got respect for him. A lot of things can be said about him because he is very popular, and obviously he was committed somewhere, and then he goes to Nebraska, family ties and everything like that. But he went out and played. There was a ball, I think I did it on game day. There's a throw where a guy's coming, a guy is running right in his face. Okay, just running right in his face. And he sits in there, takes it, and delivers a go ball down the side, and it's in the bucket. And he's a freshman. It's like, this guy's got it. Like, that's the thing you don't know if a guy has or not, especially if he's highly recruited or getting the money. It's like, I think there's a couple plays that I saw where I'm like, this guy's going to be a guy, and it's because I think tough, and you get to see more of it. But if you're able to sit in the pocket and take a big-time shot and deliver a ball, it's like, that's a separator, I think. We're here in Indianapolis. Racing is the thing. Indy 500 is a big deal. There's a lot of drivers that can go 198, 199, can't go over 200 miles an hour. So that's like the separator. Like, hey, over 200 miles an hour, how do you feel? Are you comfortable? Are you not comfortable? Are you going to get in here? They're going 230 here at Indy 500 and everything like that, 225, whatever it is. So it's like a separator. I think the separated quarterback position is, can you take a shot and deliver the ball? Like, do you courage? Can you do it? Physically, can you do it? And then once again, play clock's running. Can you get back up and go deliver again? I watch him do that a lot. And with the way you talk about old school football, you have to love that about this highly recruited guy, I would assume.
I love the kid. And he came there. His parents trusted him to come here, and he came there not because of my offensive philosophy, because that I'm not renowned for that. It's the other part. Like, I do not want him showing up someday as the first pick and going to some team in New York or some team in L.A., and all of a sudden, for the first time in his life, experiencing adversity. So, yeah, he has fun. He runs around. He celebrates. He does other things. But he's in there every morning at 6. And when he doesn't do something right, he's hearing about it from me. And if he misses a nutrition appointment and he wants to show up to throwing, and I'm like, no, you're not allowed to throw today because you missed your nutrition appointment. So he's getting all that stuff. So whatever team gets him in 3 years, they're going to get a guy. And so, yeah.
You would hope that would happen everywhere.
Yeah, in most places it does.
But I'm just saying, be 19 and be famous, right? Be 19 and be famous. He's 19, he's famous. But I'll say this. When my two daughters walk in the building, like, he stops whatever he does. He's like Vivi, Leon. And when he sees the AD's son walk in, he knows their names. He sees my wife, Miss Julie. He's a great kid. Social media paints people different ways. I wish all of our kids were like Dylan is. And you know what? We're all works in progress. But if tomorrow morning in the Metro isn't good, he's going to hear about it, and he'll do it again the next day. So don't worry about him. He'll be fine.
Okay, that is awesome news, and I'm thankful to hear that there's dogs out there still, and it sounds like there's going to be a lot of them coming from Nebraska. Can't wait to watch how your guys do. Thank you for making time for us, and we can't wait to watch year 3 with Nebraska, like we've seen year 3 at Baylor, year 3 at Temple.
What?
There's a chance. What? Does Game Day make an appearance out there?
Last year I said you'd be there, and I didn't quite pull my weight, so just give it time.
Okay.
I feel good.
Love to go.
That river in Brazos.
You do that thing on the side. You do that thing on the side where, like, you're in the end zone. And you guys
simulcast.
Are
playoffs.
Like, has a coach ever walked over and talked to you in the middle of a simulcast?
No, I don't think so.
You ran by Saban.
Saban,
the O-line coach.
Yeah, Justin
Fry.
Yelling shit at you.
But Fry's an old Temple guy. But Fry and I worked together. So if you're from Temple, you don't care about anything, bro.
Dude,
you're so tough.
He was giving me this. I'm standing because I picked against Ohio State.
Oh, that's different. I'm talking about where I come over and say, Pat, what do you think, bro? What do you think?
Yeah,
should we go for it or
we
not?
would love that.
Sweet.
Yeah. We would certainly love that. That would certainly be.
I'll just write that down.
Remember that.
When the time comes.
That's college football playoff. Actually, that contract is up. Actually, we don't know if that's ever going to happen again. It was a great time.
Hell of a run.
We got to see a lot of iconic games.
Bro, we're just there. Obviously, you get to do it all the time. But, like, just being there, feeling the college world is just different. Isn't it? It's great to be back in the college world.
I love it. I love everything about it.
At Nebraska, they fill up, hours before the game kicks off?
And here's the reason why. They show up an hour before the game to watch the kids that might not get in the game but that are still Huskers. Yeah, that's a loyalty unlike anything else. Like they show up to watch Johnny and Steve.
Take Pat and go.
Just watch them Pat and go and give them a cheer. I mean, it's just a different level of loyalty to their team.
Well, sounds like it has the makings to be great. Now, Iowa is certainly lurking.
Listen, I will say, because I was one of the big, hey, this Nebraska, Iowa, like this isn't a rivalry. Okay, we can play it the day after Thanksgiving. That's horseshit. It's a rivalry now. It is. I'm bought in.
Well, if I may say two things, one of the best moments of my life as a college football coach was at the end of the first quarter, looking up and waving at those kids. I'm telling you now,
that's cool, isn't it?
That was as powerful a thing as I've ever been through in my life. And thinking about like what are they going through? Like I'm sitting here like in pain about the third down call, and I'm like, what are we talking about? So that was amazing. And I have a lot of respect for Iowa and Coach Ferentz and all those things. And I know it's a rivalry, but I never talk about rivalries. I'm like, hey, this game. But after this year. After everything happened, I'm gonna tell you right now. North Philly Matt Rhule might be back.
Okay, we like that. Them Johns need to feel it over there.
That's right.
And when you think about like the hospital, because I was very lucky here to be a coach. There's a lot of community work. You go to those hospitals, and the kids obviously going through it, but the families, the anxiety, the amount of time, everything that they're not able to do because they're fully focused on their children, let alone being scared at all times that it's over. So like when I see that wave and they show the thing and it's obviously the kids, the parents watching the kids be happy and have that moment, like legit, I get just like you, like the first time I saw it, I was like, it's interesting. And then you're like kind of really start thinking about it. You're like, and now that I'm a dad, it's like the chills that you would get probably in that moment. Iowa's a beautiful place, creates beautiful people. Well, I'll tell you what, they're in it now against Nebraska because there's a little sauce coming from North Philly. We appreciate the hell out of you, Coach. Good luck out there. You're the man. All right, we're going to take a break. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. We're in this thing together. Thank you, Coach. Take 5.
We're still bringing it.
I light every bridge I see here just to watch it burn. If you've seen all the hell I've seen, it make your stomach turn. I think you know why I do what I do when I do.
Started with 133 teams vying for one of these coveted 12 spots for this 12-team playoff, and it came down to 2 teams in the great state of Indiana kicking this entire thing off.
I try. I might drink a little, I might smoke a lot, counting down the good times, staring down the clock, throw some high.
The best year of college football that it's ever had is about to have the greatest playoff it's ever had, and it all starts right here in front of Touchdown Jesus and his beautiful Irish people. And I think if you say, go Irish, be Hoosiers. They'll do that all night. If you make this kick, I will double his kick to $500,000. I will also donate $250,000 to a charity of Chris Daly's choosing. Yeah, let it go.
Oh, God.
Not terrible. Not terrible. Proud of you. One kick, $750,000. The Lord is watching you. Man down. Man down.
That's all right.
$1 million. And there's a bunch of that have invaded. There's a lot of them.
We don't just beat top 25 teams, we beat the shit out of them.
Okay. Google him.
The one thing you didn't learn from me is talking all the shit you talk.
Welcome to the most electrifying atmosphere in all of sport. I know European soccer fans are wild. That's like 30 to 60,000. You're about to see all weekend 100,000 plus bananas atmosphere, and that is one part of the reason why college ball is so damn great. Why are the girls here?
Is this not a fun show?
No.
Serious show?
Serious football.
Alabama Jones is very serious.
You know, he was trying to be funny, which I get it. And, you know, my daughter Kristen loves him, so that's kind of soothed the soul a little bit that somebody in our family likes the guy.
I choose to believe. In front of Touchdown Jesus and everybody looking down. I BYU gets a massive win over Notre Dame. Shane, I'm sorry.
You're a real scumbag. I thought Coach Cignetti coming out here was a real disgrace to the game. He left his players in the locker room to go get some camera time for himself. I know a legend like yourself would never do something like that. Would you?
No.
No, it's disgusting. I saw it. I thought, wow, what a sad, disgusting program. Notre Dame by a million. Go Irish.
Riley Leonard and the Irish from their own two. Jeremiah Love breaks free. Jeremiah Love trying to go 98. Touchdown!
Might be fiction for a blowout here, fellas.
Couldn't wait to get to the wonderful state of OH! In the SEC, coming up to the Big Ten, when it's cold as hell, we shall settle the conversation here in beautiful Columbus. Coach, that hairline, you get a haircut every day?
Not every day. Not every day.
Big beard, big boot, Peters in tow, 500! Oh, this guy sucks. Holy, this guy's the worst we've ever seen. Just took out the Ohio State cheerleaders. $1 million here, JD level. Yep, this guy sucks at kicking butt. We appreciate the hell out of you, JD.
Hey,
He has once wiped 100 times.
What? What?
Yeah, 100 times. There are actually people out there, psychos obviously, that like the non-frosted Pop-Tarts. Gary's probably one of the best football players I've ever been around. Non-frosted strawberry Pop-Tarts.
I like non-frosted Pop-Tarts.
Non-frosted Pop-Tarts.
Now, I, at one point this year, was the mayor of Cocktown. You were the mayor? Mayor of Cocktown, yeah. They voted me in there, and this is my
How do you become the mayor of Cocktown?
You just got to go around and say, listen, I heart cock. I heart cocks. Sorry, numerous. Whenever we found out that there was going to be a college football playoff game in Columbus, Ohio, we were all jacked up to see this Ohio State faithful be showcased to the entire world about how much they love football. Then we walked out here to this game day set this morning, and it was like, Rocky Top, you'll always be home, sweet home to me. Rocky Top, Rocky Top. Well, in that song, they say it's home. Home for me is the North, and the cold is going to be Dahn. Give me the Ohio State Buckeyes representing for the Big Ten. How cool was Sean Perkins, the Ohio State football team, for allowing us to hang out in their facility pretty much all day Saturday? They had 5 TVs set up, a bunch of recliners. Roosters supplied some phenomenal food. Arctic temperatures. AJ Hawkins saw 2 moments. Darius Butler from South Florida. He's fucking in for it. You can check up on about first quarter, fourth quarter. It's all we want. It's all we want. It is. And Travion Henderson in the open field. Travion Henderson is scoring another ton for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Story of the game thus far as Chip Kelly is going mad dummy, bruh. All of Ohio is excited. They were singing long neck, ice cold beer never broke my heart. First read, second read, third read, scramble, ball on the ground. Check down.
Would hate to be a Tennessee fan or a chair near Morgan Wallen because they have no hope right now.
Will Howard, check. Jeremiah Smith, touchdown!
By and large, these games have absolutely stunk, Pat.
Peter Herbstreit raising an absolute hell.
A couple people up here with that smoky orange face paint on that are feeling like real assholes right now.
As we look to the exits, and the Volunteers fans are saying, get my ass back to the South. This one's over. Bounces it. Touchdown! Ohio State. Boys, that was wide ass open.
He's got left hand.
500 drones. Ones that we know about. This game's over, but we're still bringing it. Arlington. Boom! It's a fullback. Didn't score a touchdown, but what'd he do? He ram. Bryquise Brown. Saws him in half. DB, Weston Arthur. Boom! Loses his helmet. But this does not count because it wasn't a player. You see, it was a Ram. The Georgia Ram dog. Listen to that sound. That's not us adding sound. Those are pads crashing. The quarterback. The Ram truck stick. Eric Phoenix. Boom! Weston Arthur will carry over from last week. Mason Fletcher goes for the burn. Safety, Lathan Ransom. More like Ransom. Ransom. Kobe Savage. The duck truck toot toot. Legal play. Where'd your helmet go? Wow. Jonathan Allen. More like Ramathan Allen. A little bit of a low punt, but the players can make play. Let me throw my body. There is a flag on the play, but not on the punter. San Jose State. More like Ram Jose State. Weston Arthur Mount. Boom. Florida. Ole Miss. Gator Ram. Bryce Cohen. 2 people, 1 Ram. Trevor from California, the equipment manager, sees a guy steal a ball, tracks him down through the crowd, and boom! Belly to back suplex, bitch! They showed the clip to the team in a team meeting the next day. This is the reaction. Boom play that has been seen by millions. Hey, millions! We have Ram Payne on the campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, running back Jordan James. Damn. John, couldn't you love seeing a running back do something like that?
I do, and I think it's more impressive than a tackle, to be honest. You can't use your hands, you can't scoop the legs, and if you're knocking him ass over teacups, I like the run better than the tackle.
Shiloh, slam there! A nuke! I love Dan Jackson, more like Ram Jackson. Gunner Stockton. Dunzo. Cam Scatterboom. More like Ram Scatterboom. More like you can't tackle me. Rumbling, stumbling. Our reigning champion of this Ram truck segment since jump has been from Mount Union with a Mount Boom. Weston Arthur. Boom! I mean, if you're talking about a Ram truck segment, that epitomizes it. Let's go. This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. You ping! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people. That is a cameraman filming a field in Lucas Oil Stadium, the home, forever home of the Combine. Hour 3 of this particular program starts now. Combine! Had a baby Scott out of Louisiana, operating the jib, absolutely beautiful. It's not about what you do, it's about how you bounce back and get better. Scott and this jib have been nothing short of magical. He's from Louisiana, so each evening he's used to eating a little gator. Okay, you'll have a little gator nugget, a little gator pasta. He's come up here to Indianapolis to help us out and run this jib, and he's done a fantastic job. Whenever Foxy cuts to this shot right here, boom, That is coming from Scott, Louisiana. Coming from a jib that is in the lobby of Lucas Oil Stadium that is currently the host of the NFL Combine and hopefully will be forever. This place is electrifying. This place is alive. It is the second on-field day of workouts for this year's NFL Combine, and we're lucky to be here. The Toxic Table looks a little different as Ty Schmidt is out with something. Hopefully he'll be back soon. We send our best wishes. The Toxic Table at Boston Connor, at Mad Mel Kiper. Mad Mel, how you feeling about today, pal?
Absolutely fantastic. I'm ready to get down there and get some measurements that maybe not everybody else is going to be looking at. We'll just leave it there. I don't necessarily need to go in, but, we got a lot of beef down there, so we're going to, guys take the field in about 30 minutes here. We're going to get down there and kind of, get the tape measure out and be looking at some things that maybe not every scout, maybe not every draft Nick is going to be looking at. That's what I'm really interested in.
Well, yesterday I saw you had your eyes on the punters, kickers, and snappers as I walked down there, ended the show early, went down there to host the specialist showcase that I thought was going to be on television. Should have been on television. Very electrifying. Was nowhere to be found, but we did get some clips out of it all. And I got a chance to be back around kickers, punters, and snappers. I had a blast down there, and I know you were evaluating with a keen eye.
I was, and maybe, Pat, you could dive into this a little bit more. I think the biggest takeaway, especially when you talk about the IPP, the International Player Program, had a lot of guys from, different
pathway.
countries.
I think it's International Player Pathway.
IPPP.
Well, I always call it the program. Okay, so they can call it the pathway if they want. Back when I, kind of mentioned to the NFL, hey, we need to grow the game. We need to make this thing more global. I called it the program. Now it's the pathway. Either way, guys need to learn how to catch the goddamn football.
Okay.
That's kind of my big takeaway. Maybe you, but listen, I'm just saying, hey, growing up in America, you're playing in the backyard with your buddies. There's certain athletic maneuvers that we all do growing up that we're comfortable with. These guys aren't doing that shit. Okay?
They got different sports.
They do. They're playing Gaelic football. Hey, let's go have a kick. They're not having a catch. They're not doing any of that kind of stuff. So obviously catching the football, that's a pretty big deal if you're a punter.
Yeah, I agree. And a couple of the International Pathway, Player Pathway guys program, IPPPP.
Sure.
Those guys, perfect practice, you get it. In the
PYIP.
Yeah, whatever it is.
PIYP.
Yeah, whatever it is. There was a couple international kickers. Kid from Germany, Lenny Krieg, I believe his name, didn't miss a kick. Kid named Johnny from Italy missed like one kick, I believe, throughout the entirety of the day. Wow. So the kickers are doing a good job, I believe, in the International Pathway. The punters, I think the biggest thing is catching the ball. Because when you're a punter, you have to catch a snap, and then you also have to hold. So, that is a big part of the gig. If you're not a good holder, you're not going to make a team if it's anywhere close whenever it comes to punting there. A lot of big legs yesterday. I saw some bombs. It was awesome to watch the guys kind of have to perform with maximum pressure on them in front of a lot of NFL legendary coaches. There's legendary special teams coaches there yesterday. Bones is there, formerly of the Cowboys, formerly of the Rams, one of the most famous special teams guys of all time. Darren Simmons, who's been with the Cincinnati Bengals, I think, for 22 years. Randy Brown has been with, I think, the Ravens for 18 years, was there. This guy named Henry, who I just met yesterday, who's been with the Dallas Cowboys for 100 years. He was there scouting.
Did I see Riz down there?
Riz was down there. He just changed the kickoff rule. Yeah. It's like he's Danny Smith. I think he was just watching. I think he was just watching. These guys were running the drill and thought of these drills for the specialist showcase, so I was honored to be a part of it. But yeah, watching the balls go was awesome. There's some pressure kicks that took place for some of these kickers. Some guys stepped up. Borealis down there in Miami, he started out a little slow, got hot, hit a ball yesterday on the track, man. They were covering that. That would have been good from 66 or something like that, or 65. Kid named Loop, I believe, who's maybe from Michigan State. He did great. Kid from Florida State hit a 62-yarder to win it, or 61-yarder to win the showcase yesterday. So I think there's a lot of great things there. The punter from Alabama, who is an Aussie, Burnip, he was by far the most consistent and best performer. But there were some other guys that, whenever they're just spinning the ball to themselves and hit it, it's wow, those guys are hitting a ball further than I could ever imagine hitting a ball. But with the snap, and the snappers did well, I thought. There was a couple misses, but they snapped 400 snaps or something. I forget the number, which is an insane number. They were just out there doing it. But the guys looked like they were scared of the snap. And if you're thinking about the snap, some of the guys, not all the guys, but most of the guys, if you're thinking about the snap, you're not thinking about the punt. And if you bobble the ball, you're not able to get the punt in a position to punt it. So then you have less time, and it's I think they just all need to work on their hands. If you come over here to America to be a punter, we understand that you probably have kicked a ball before, you have a strong leg, but your hands are going to have to sync up a little bit. You're going to have to catch up a little bit on catching a ball, which you can with the jugs machine. So I think there's a lot of promise out of the guys that were there yesterday, but I think there is some some things they're going to have to work on before they become NFL guys.
And Burnett makes sense. Obviously, he's an Alabama American, so he's been in America. He's been in an American locker room where, he's maybe not playing hacky sack with the boys or whatever.
Okay.
Listen, I love hacky sack. I mean, who doesn't love hacky sack?
Sure.
But I'm just saying, he's had to kind of be a little bit more of an athlete. And you mentioned it, on top of it, if you're focused on, the snap and you can't catch it, we didn't have a rush out there, and then you put 8-9 guys who want to take your head off and kill you on top of it. You better be very confident in your ability to catch the football and get that thing off.
It was fun to watch some bombs, though. It was fun to watch some of these guys do their thing. And like that Alabama kid, looked so calm, so big, was able to catch. He's an Australian guy. He looked very comfortable doing it. I think that's the big separator right now of these international guys. And then obviously there were some American boys that held down everything out there. So I'm thankful to be a part of that today. D-tackle linebacker, right, Tone Diggs?
Yeah, D-tackle linebacker is going today. They just got done, or it looked like there's a lot of stuff coming in on Twitter right now of the measurements. So I assume right before they come out to the field, they're doing all their measurements. So all the guys were getting their measurements done today. Mason Graham came in at 6 foot, 300 pounds. He's only going to bench. He's got those 32-inch short arms, so he's going to be great on the bench, but he's not running or anything like that today. But there are going to be some freaks out there today. We talked about, Kenneth Grant from Michigan, the big 6'3", 240-pounder, who said he's going to try to run like 4.7, 4.8 today. And then you have Jalen Walker from Georgia, who won the Butkus Award out there today. He's gonna be awesome. He's an athletic freak. Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M. He just measured at 6'6", 270.
Okay, so he's listed 6'6", 290, so he's in best shape he's been in a long time. Look for him to run real fast.
Yeah, he was a 5-star coming out, one of the top D-liner coming out. He's an incredible
Mad
player.
Mel, you lose 20 pounds, you can jump higher and run a lot faster.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people were saying, hey, this guy, his production wasn't the best in college, not big, gaudy sack numbers, but if this guy goes out and runs a 4.4, I think there are going to be a lot of teams interested in him.
You lose 20 pounds. You take a 20-pound weight off of your back. You're going to be able to run faster and jump higher. I don't know why. Maybe he didn't do it in college. Maybe it was different. He was getting different information or whatever.
When you look at his tape, he doesn't look 290, so I don't know if that was like a program thing.
They were lying about him being bigger.
Maybe potentially being heavier, because when you look at his tape, he looks fit. Like, he doesn't look overly fit. But Kenneth Grant from Michigan, he did say he dropped like 15-ish so he could run a 4.8 and jump higher at this program.
All right, joining us now is somebody that has obviously covered all of these guys in college ball. Absolute legend in the sport of college football. Now becoming one quickly in the draft world. Ladies and gentlemen, Molly McGrath.
Thank you,
Molly. Good to see you too. Hold on, Connor will get you the. Okay, you do yourself.
Pros.
I just want to let you know, Connor got that for everybody else but you.
Yeah.
You take that however you want.
I was standing up. She already I'm a pro. I can mic myself up. I do this for a living.
Ladies and gentlemen, Molly McGrath.
Yeah, Molly.
Thank you for having me, guys. This is quite a sweet set you have.
Not bad, right?
No, it's
I had
not
to come
bad.
down here and do an actual site survey. Me and a tape measure.
Right.
That's a factual statement.
Well, I mean, this is a home assignment for you. This is pretty sweet. This
Bingo.
is the house that Pat McAfee built.
Molly, you saw the wall. This actually says the building or the house that was built by these guys. So these are the guys, Tony Dungy, Peyton Manning, Joseph Adai and the boys. I was very lucky to be an Indianapolis Colt. But yeah, to your point, the people of Indianapolis run this building. So when I came down here with a tape measure, the CIB, the City Improvement Board, was like, why are we doing this? There's enough space for your show. And they're the ones that said I should do it right here. So we are incredibly lucky and
awesome.
thankful to be here. Why are you here? Now, you're part of the draft coverage, obviously, for ESPN.
Yeah. So,
but we assume you know everything about everybody because of all the college football stuff. What do you have going on this week?
It's such a great assignment. So last year was my first year covering the NFL draft for ESPN. So the guys go on stage, their names are announced, they shake Roger Goodell's hand.
They dap him, hug him.
Yeah, they jump into his arms.
Whole thing, whole thing.
And it's like the best moment of their lives. Their whole career has come up to this moment, and I'm standing there ready to interview them, and it's like the most electric interview that you could ever do. And so it's such a cool moment to be a part of. I did that for ESPN, doing it again this year. So it's an honor to be a part of such a special moment. And I know these players so well. I know their families and their moms and their girlfriends. I know, certain things like a big part of me being here this week is meeting with GMs. I'm just kind of networking, and I have a lot of great conversations
trying to get
with
their
GMs.
information.
I'm trying to get their information for coverage leading up to that moment, for coverage leading up to the draft, to do reports for our crew. And it's kind of a give and take relationship with GMs where it's like, hey, I can tell that this locker room doesn't love this guy.
Yeah.
I can tell that his teammates really love him. I can tell that this guy's really tough. Hey, coaches say he doesn't watch a lot of film.
Yeah.
So in being like with these players week in and week out with college
Molly's
football,
becoming an insider.
I'm a little bit of an
Wait a
insider,
minute.
but it's like off the record conversations with GMs, and so it's like a little bit of give and take. And
Don't go to
it's cool.
Starbucks. Insiders are brawling.
I saw Ian Rapaport at a coffee shop a couple hours back right before he came here.
That was not a Starbucks.
And it was not a Starbucks.
No.
It was at the Westin, and I wanted to ask him if he felt safe. But he looks
Molly,
fine.
what if you would have walked up to him and been like,
What if I
I got
would've been
something
like,
to say to you? That would have been amazing. Well, I appreciate your professionalism and your due diligence that you're doing.
Yeah.
You feel like you know the college players very well. How versed were you with the NFL? How versed were you with the NFL and everything like that as you dove in last year? And how do you feel now?
I think that last year I was a fan of the NFL, and then when I got this assignment, I was like, all right, I need to get up to speed on team needs, GMs, coaching changes, like what these teams are looking for in the draft. Yeah, exactly. And now with a second year under my belt, I feel so much more well prepared because I approach the college football season completely differently. Every week as I'm like requesting players and talking to guys on the phone, I'm talking to all the draft prospects that these teams have. And then I'm at the games, and you go to college football games, they're GMs all over the sidelines. That's a time to really pick those guys' brains and to give them that information, and say like, hey, this guy's legit and this guy, his teammates don't love him, he's a little full of shit. Like those kinds of moments that you can establish a relationship. So.
Molly, you're a weapon, absolute weapon. you are. And the amount of time that you put in, and the amount of travel, because where you live to everything.
Crazy decision
it
to do
is
that.
A crazy decision. Yeah, I make some terrible decisions.
No, you
in my
don't.
life. I truly do.
Before the boys have their questions for you,
I love it.
I need to ask
Questions?
about
Yeah.
good decision, great decision.
Okay.
Since I think the last time we really seen you become full mama.
Oh yeah.
How's it
my
been?
God. Since we last worked together, I've created 2 humans.
Congrats.
Yeah, 2
Congratulations.
humans. And they both speak and walk and talk, and it's crazy. I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, 2 little boys. I don't know if they're watching this, but when I like have my makeup done, I'm Mama TV, and then when I'm home, I'm just like Mom because
That's awesome.
I'm a different human.
You love
now.
it. So for me
It's
and my
amazing.
wife, it's the greatest. Like watching my wife mom is so cool.
Yeah.
And I heard, I think we're talking about at the beginning of with your work schedule and being a mom, we want to let you know we think you're a badass and we think it's a good thing, not a bad thing. So you need to never even
Thank
let
you.
that cross your mind. You kill it. And how you're momming from afar, at least. I've never met your kids. Your husband, great dude. But like, you're crushing it, Molly. And you
Thank
should
you.
be very, 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 very proud of yourself. Now, with that being said, let's turn to the conversation. Mad Mel Kiper has one for you, Molly.
Oh, Mad Mel.
Yeah, Molly, just curious. Obviously, this you haven't been doing this a whole bunch of years. I have been doing this for 30 plus years. So
Yeah,
if
you're a
you
vet.
need any tricks of the trade, be happy to share those with you. Have you noticed when you're trying to get this information? Have you been going to the restaurants? Everyone says like, hey, nothing is figured out or no information is passed unless these GMs and coaches have a couple booze cocktails in them,
Right.
late at St. Elmo's. So have you been doing kind of that aspect of it, or have you been over at the convention center kind of bebopping around trying to get information that way?
It's a little bit of both. I don't know if
Okay.
you can tell I'm exhausted because I was up until like 2 a.m. last night.
That's
at the
Indianapolis.
Bar, closing
Have to.
down the bar.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's where those relationships are established. You're having a drink and you're just getting to know people as parents, and as professionals and those kinds of things. So I'm exhausted. It's been already a long week, and we're not even halfway through it. So it's a part of that, and then it's going through the convention center, grabbing people, going up to them, saying, hey, I covered college football. I know these guys intimately. If you need to know anything, like, feel free to reach out to me. It can be a mutually beneficial relationship.
So we're literally watching you blossom your NFL career right now. Like, this is happening.
It's a great segue. And you know what? Like, I covered an NFL game, one of the Monday Night Football games earlier this season, the Cardinals-Chargers game. And it's amazing how many players remember you from their college careers, and they feel like a bit of sentimentality with it, where they're like, hey, you covered me in college. How are you? I remember you. And so you kind of already know all of these athletes so well. So it's really cool. It's a great segue into covering the NFL. I think that's something I want to do eventually in my career. I love college football, especially with the playoff. Like, there's no better assignment in the world than covering college football for ESPN right now. But eventually I want to start to work more in the NFL because I know these guys so well.
We'll dive dive into college ball at the end of this because what an electrifying season.
Yeah. So much fun.
So many top 5 matchups throughout the year with the realignment and the players and more teams going in there. Herb Street, whenever he got the Thursday night job, obviously he's one of the faces of college ball, if not the face of college ball over the last 3 decades. He thought that maybe, they wouldn't take him as serious enough because he's a college guy. And I and everybody else that played in the NFL were like, Herbie, we watch game day every Saturday in every single building. Yeah. We all know you from college football. We're all in there. So I think there's even more of a respect for the people that covered college get into the NFL. And I think Herbie didn't believe that at the beginning. I think you should think the same thing. Like, a lot of respect for everything you've done because you've been there since they were like kids.
Yeah.
To becoming men, and you've told their stories. You've helped a lot of people. And Herbie did the same thing. It's like, I think the players actually have more of a trust, and you said a sentimental value with you than maybe others. I think it's a great transition into the NFL.
Yeah, and the coaches and the players are all fans of football, so they all watch a ton of college football. So when I came to the Combine last year, the first person I see as I walk into the convention center is Andy Reid, and he points to me and goes, "No, you cannot leave college football."
Okay.
And I was
That's
like, "Don't
awesome.
worry, Coach, I'm not leaving, but thank you." And he's like, "I'm a big fan of your work." And I'm like, "I'm a big fan of your work."
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was one of those cool moments where I was like, "How the heck does Andy Reid know who I am?"
Molly,
that was sick.
Molly,
that
biggest
was like
games
a cool moment
every year for like the last. I don't want to do that whole thing, but you
since
get
I
it.
was with you.
You
great
You
Thursday
launched
nights.
my career. Those Thursday nights.
Thursday night Remy's.
The Remy's. Ugh. Yeah, we grew through
Adam
that.
Amin, Matt Hasselbeck, myself, Molly McGrath.
We had a lot of fun.
It was
a lot of fun.
They
Yeah,
were.
They
When
were.
the lights go out, was that Tulane or Memphis?
When the lights
the power went out.
go
East
down.
Carolina.
Yeah.
East Carolina.
And East Carolina. Yeah, that's what it is right there. Yeah. And they had a gymnast, like a cheerleader gymnast, when the lights were out, that was doing 100 yards worth of back handsprings and backflips.
Oh, yeah, I remember
And
that.
we're like talking in the booth, like trying to kill time. And I'm like, I don't have enough say at this point, but we need to be showing that dude.
This is good television.
That dude
right
down there
here.
in pitch black while lights are coming back on. He might have just done 1,000 backflips, but
Yeah.
I feel like I learned a lot that season. And you were ready to be the star way before we got there on that Thursday night. I'm excited you've gotten all the recognition you deserve. Connor has a question for you.
So you saw Rap Sheet this morning. He was, probably pouting a little down. Have you been able to talk to like Schefter about kind of the insider game? And have you also just been on your phone for like 20 hours a day to practice kind of how much
it
you
goes.
have to actually do that?
You
And
got to get the screen time.
exactly. Yeah. You
Yeah.
ring her on, all those types of things.
So I'm not trying to be an insider where I'm trying to break news. I'm more trying to be an insider for context because I want these coaches and GMs to trust me inherently. And that's a part of covering game broadcasts, right? Like coaches tell me stuff every week that's off the record that would be breaking news if I were to tweet it out, but I want them to know that they can trust me. So
Journalism.
yeah, capital J journalism. So these are the kinds of conversations I'm having this week where I'm being told things that are off the record that would be breaking news, but I'm not revealing it. I know it for context. I know it for how to approach my conversations with players, with other GMs, and what the teams are looking for. And then there's a lot of stuff that I'll like embargo until draft day. Hey, are you cool if I don't use any of this until our draft coverage begins? And then I can reveal what you're really starting to look for. And some of them say yes, some of them say no. But it's establishing the trust. I just want them to trust me and know that I'm not going to like spill their secrets or tweet anything out. I think that's like the biggest value that I can bring is just to be trusted.
That's not just a big J. That's also big journalism as well.
That's right.
Yeah, that's big the entirety. And refresh my memory here, and boys, you might remember this. Didn't she start like sports media school at Boston College? Like you actually,
I believe so.
At BC,
you actually like
I did
started.
not start the sports media.
Yeah, you did.
school.
Basically.
You did something.
I started
on
a
the
role.
building.
I started a like sports reporter role. I was the cheerleading captain, so I was sassy as hell, and went into the athletic director's office.
So what does that mean, sassy as hell? We had a lot of this.
No, I knew what I wanted to do in my career. Like I went to the athletic director. I went into his office, Gene DiFilippo at the time, and I said, "Hey, these are my goals, and this is how I need you to help me get there."
I like that.
And I'm going to create a student reporter position, and I just want you to sign off on it. I'll do all the extra work, and I had people help me get there, right? None of us got to where we are without help from other people and support. So he supported that, and I created that role, and I think it exists to this day, which is so cool.
Hell yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
And also it takes a lot of courage, confidence, intelligence, foresight to go and create that role. And then for the execution part of it, you've crushed it. Now, speaking of college football, Andy Reid never wants you to leave. Tone Diggs has a question for you.
Yeah, I do. So we always talk to Shefty, and I'm wondering about the difference between the sideline and then this kind of the draft role. We talk about, like, with Shefty, like, how transactional, like, all his relationships have to be, like, with all of his sources and all these GMs and coaches and stuff like that. What is the biggest difference between those, like, relationships and then, like, when you're talking to the college coaches, like, gathering information for the game? Is that more of, like, a relaxed situation?
I think they're similar.
Yeah.
I think it's all about people that you're working with liking you, trusting you, rooting for you, trusting you with certain information. With the draft, it's obviously a little more sensitive because with these picks, there's money on the line and jobs on the line. So you want to be really sensitive. And with that, like, I go into conversations with GMs and I say, hey, this whole conversation can be off the record if you want. But with the coach, you don't start a conversation with the coach going into a production meeting saying, hey, this is all off the record. Usually it's all on the record unless they say, hey, don't say this. So it's a little stricter and a little tighter, I think, with the NFL, and you don't want to, like, piss people off because you want to keep those relationships. In college football, it's a little more fair game unless you're instructed specifically not to say something.
Let's talk about college ball this past year, 12-team playoff.
It was
Started
a blast.
with 12, count down to 1. It's how we crown a CFP national champion.
I didn't sing long, but yeah, it was awesome.
Why didn't you pay attention to the song?
Do we have?
I don't know if we have it.
I deleted that one.
Foxy, what the hell, man?
That's it all. You keep that.
That's a text year thing.
More schools get a shot to shine. It's more games and a lot more fun. Starting with 12, counting down to 1. That's how we crown a CFP national champion. That's how we crown a CFP national champion.
Good job.
We didn't create that.
No.
If only.
The network did.
God did.
Sounds like AI maybe helps, but I think there was some people in Nashville. But 12-team playoff. Obviously, you've been covering college ball for a long time. Your thoughts on what it added to it?
It was incredible. The 12-team playoff was so much fun.
Blowouts. I still thought it was awesome.
Okay,
ball.
Like some blowouts round one, but then the quarterfinals and the semifinal games were electric.
Perfect.
It was so much fun. It was a grind. It was a grind to cover every round. And when you're on site for these games, like for college football, we get there. You're there for almost a week. So I just wasn't home for like a month and a half. But, there are other people taking care of my children. My husband he's fully capable. I am a mother. But it was fantastic because the games were awesome. And it was so unique because I covered Notre Dame from the first round all the way to the national championship game. And when else do you get a team 4 games in a row? And you get to follow them through the course and through a run like that and get to know the coaches, the players intimately. I basically knew every player on that team really well. I'd interviewed all of them at some point. So it was really cool to be able to experience that.
Yeah, we agree. Like, we got a chance, obviously, with our simulcast Field Pass operation to be there for all the games, except for one. We had all Ohio State's games.
It was Boise, Penn State.
Yeah, we had
Fiesta Bowl.
But you're right. Each week it was.
Yeah, we did Ohio State.
We were right
we
in
beat you guys. Sorry.
We were right in the middle. We were right in the middle of all of it. And the reason why you're going to do so great at the NFL and why you do so great at college is because you do spend a week at all these places.
Yeah.
We fly in there the day before. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're
going to practice.
I'm not doing games. Yeah, we're not doing games. We do the Field Pass, but we in the booth and on the main broadcast. What was the numbers that were coming in for some of those games? 20 plus million, I think. Just so many games. And I think I don't want to say fatigue, but maybe viewers being new to the flow of college football in the playoffs.
And how late the games were going into January.
Bingo, yeah. So I think there's still some things that can get worked out, but man, we loved it. And it was electrifying.
And those games felt larger than life, especially on campus. The on-campus games that was my favorite. Cold, freezing cold at Notre Dame. But that was so cool to be a part of something like that.
Agreed. And the people, that's college football the pageantry, tradition, and environments are a massive piece of the product, I think.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, the football is being played on the field. The football, it does matter. And if you're good, it's going to be better. But the environments are what make college football.
Yeah.
So them showcasing that, I think, was a big deal. Boy, it was cold, though.
It was.
We were pitching hard.
Don't be soft. It's fine.
No, it was.
Were you at Ohio State, Tennessee?
I was at Notre Dame, and
Sorry.
it was single dig. It was pretty cold, but I had an electric jacket on.
Oh,
you have to
See,
get
these are
with the
things
program.
you know that we don't.
Yeah, I know. This is sideline
program.
reporter info. I had an
Okay.
electric vest. I had electric gloves. Because
Okay.
you're holding a mic, your hand gets cold.
Pat didn't have gloves at all, so.
I didn't have gloves or a head.
No, he's a tough guy. He doesn't wear sleeves either.
Sure.
We're in the stadium, Lucas Oil Stadium.
It's nice
It is-
out now.
It is a beautiful time, and also spring is cracking seemingly here in Indianapolis. You tell Punxsutawney Phil to eat shit.
Sure.
Okay,
Well
he
said.
didn't
Fuck.
think that was coming. This is the coldest winter we've had. Coldest. We talked about how far you travel. You live in Washington.
Mm-hmm. I do. I live in Seattle. I'm crossing time zones every
That's
3
long.
days.
Yeah, what?
It's wild. It's
Very wild.
Yeah, it's that's been tough. I think the time change is the toughest part because
Yeah.
sometimes I'll have 7 a.m. Eastern meetings. So I'm waking up at 4 and I'm on Zooms just like trying to keep my life together.
Well, you're doing a great job.
Yeah, it's fine. We're
We-
dealing with it. There
we-
might be a move in my future with my family, but it's not official
Something
yet.
just as a human that not as much as you, but travels and works a good bit. Convenience in and out of these places is that is the name of the game.
It's everything.
That is you traveling back to Washington every single week is just absurd to think about. But there's only one person that can pull it off, and that's the person that walks into Boston College, says, "We need this to happen, change everything, and then change the course of football coverage and your life." Molly, you've absolutely crushed it. We appreciate you so much, and thank you for stopping by. Good luck with the draft coverage.
Thank you. So good to see you guys. So good to see you in person.
Dude, yeah. I mean, only on TV and on the internet throughout this entirety.
That's our lives. It's fine. All right.
That is
Thank
our lives.
You.
You're
Love
the best.
you guys.
And would
Thank
you watch ESPN draft coverage? You'll be on it.
Yep, I'll be on the ESPN draft coverage. I need to find if anyone wants to sponsor me, I need to find a sick little chinchilla coat, like a fur coat. We're gonna be in Green Bay.
Oh, yeah.
Smart. Right?
It was cold in Detroit last year.
It's
gonna be cold.
I was
as
wearing
shit in
extra
Green Bay.
layers. It's gonna be cold. You have to embrace the place, right? So I have to have some kind of
Cheese head.
fur.
Put a cheese head on.
Stay
Yeah.
inside, maybe.
Put a cheese head on the head.
Yeah, that'll be a good
Like,
look.
what's his name?
Yeah.
From,
Overalls. Isn't there a lot of overalls out there? at Green
American
Bay?
Gangster.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot
Frank
of
Lucas.
You can get the Frank Lucas coat from American
and the
Gangster.
hat.
Yeah.
And
Look
hat.
into it.
That's one way to be trending on the internet. That or getting a fight in a Starbucks. So it's I'd rather be all.
There he is right
Yeah,
there.
Swagged
absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, surviving the fight is Ian Rapaport. Good to see him walking by here.
Licking his wounds.
All right, so you're going to be in the lead up to the NFL draft coverage as well on ESPN. Where will we see you talking about what you're learning here today and everything like that?
I have no idea. I'll be on ESPN. They'll send me out before the draft, and maybe I'll do some stuff ahead of that, some pro days, things like that. I'm also doing college basketball coverage right now.
Really?
I was just in Birmingham,
Alabama?
Tuscaloosa. Sorry, I flew out of Birmingham.
I know there's a couple. I think there's a couple.
I was in.
England? That's one. That's the only one I can think of.
Yeah, I just got back from Europe. I just
College
came back
hoops.
from Europe.
Covering the Peaky Blinders.
I was in Tuscaloosa on Tuesday night.
That's
Came
also
here,
Alabama.
Yeah.
and now I'm going to Knoxville for Alabama at Tennessee on Saturday.
one.
That's a really big one. So with my travel schedule, I just don't go home.
No, we'll keep grinding.
It's fine.
It is admirable and it is awesome.
It's
You're getting to
fun.
the top, Molly. You're already there. You're the best. Ladies and gentlemen, Molly McGrath.
Thank you guys. You guys are the best.
Thank you, Molly.
What other Birmingham popped in your head there?
I just know there's more than one.
See ya.
You know what I mean?
Boom, boom,
yeah, I
boom.
guess, but Birmingham, college basketball.
It was-
Birmingham, New York.
Hey, watching her operate
She's a dog.
that Thursday night football thing was crazy because, she's telling stories for different college football shows that are happening and interviews and sit down and doing that. But then on the game, she's not only doing the drops before halftime and at the beginning of the game, which I think a lot of people just expect. She's working.
Constant movement.
Working everything. And she knows every storyline for every player. And if anything happens, she drops reminders. Hey, remember, blah, blah, blah. She's a producer while also Molly's a beast.
Dog.
Molly's an absolute beast. The NFL is calling, though.
Oh,
Yes.
Andy Reid going, don't.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
Don't you. Not now. We need you in college ball. It's certainly we do, but she is a G. Molly's an absolute G. Speaking of, I believe Indianapolis, Indiana has brought some things through for us, and this might be the Visit Indy people. Yeah, I believe that's Chris Gall of Visit Indy. Don't know this guy's name, but I should. Hey, how you doing? How you doing, man? Hey, I'm Pat.
Whoa!
Wow!
See you, computer.
Cocktail, you gotta be kidding me, man.
Chris, thank you, brother.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's incredible.
Do you want to sit down and put a headset on? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Very nice to meet you.
Sure.
Yeah,
Too
sure.
kind.
Visit Indy would be great. What do we got here? We got some steak sliders here.
We've got the filet sliders. You'll find those at Harry and Dizzy's St. Elmo Steakhouse. This famous, iconic St. Elmo shrimp cocktail. You're not going to cry when you have it, are you?
I'm not going to breathe. Listen, I've been around the game. Whenever you eat this, you can't breathe. When you breathe while eating it, shoots up into the nose, and it's game, set, match. But the flavor is something you can't get anywhere else, which is why people come.
They love it. Yeah, and it's been synonymous with Indianapolis. Just like the NFL Combine, we're glad to have it here in Indianapolis for another year since 1987. So we're glad to have all the NFL folks here.
We appreciate the hell out of you, man. All right, Chris, you will stick around. Thank you so much. Great service.
Thank you.
Hold on.
That's the biz.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, no problem. That was good, sir. That was good service. Oh. Okay, so that guy owns St. Elmo's, obviously.
He owns St. Elmo's, yep.
Chris, we should have known that. I felt like a big-time asshole. I say, here comes Chris from Visit Indy. And Guy, I should definitely know, but I don't. He owns St. Elmo's.
He owns St. Elmo's.
Hey, sir, thank you. I didn't know who the hell you were when you came up here. Thank you so much for what you've done for Indianapolis, man.
Thanks, Elmo.
Thank you, Greg.
Is there a more iconic restaurant?
I don't think there isn't a more iconic restaurant synonymous with a city. Anytime anybody comes to Indianapolis, Mad Mel's already crying.
Yeah, hot, but delicious.
Zoom in on those eyes. Get those
Delicious.
eyes.
Well, that's the thing. You got to dive right in.
Once it gets in the nostrils.
You got to dive right in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go back for some more.
Go ahead.
It's so good.
Not like your pumpkin pie, huh?
You can't breathe while you're eating it. You guys are making massive mistakes, I feel like.
Oh, no.
I think it's like 24 pounds of shrimp cocktail sauce they serve up annually.
Jeez Louise.
Annually
or weekly?
Weekly, excuse me. Weekly.
Yeah, weekly. Annually would be a lot. 52. Tone's eating one right now. He's having a moment right now with a shrimp cocktail.
Part of the experience.
Love it. Clears you out.
Mad Mel's crying. Connor, I don't know if he has any feeling.
It is so good.
It hits you.
I love this shit.
All right, Chris, let's talk a little bit. You're, I don't know official title, head of Visit Indy.
Executive Vice President.
Okay,
Visit
Indy. We appreciate what you're doing with Indianapolis.
Yeah.
You look very, very cool.
Thank you.
Thank you for this. This is a part of the Visit Indy, obviously.
We thought it'd look good on your desk.
It does. It looks amazing, and obviously people walk in, they're the eye in Indy, because Indy is such like a collaborative thing, and we are such a welcoming city. Whenever the Combine comes here, what does it bring to the city each year, and what is the goal? Is the goal to keep the Combine here forever, I would assume?
It is. We had meetings with the league this week. The Combine has been here since '87. We have them on the books through 26. This week, $10 million in economic impact for our city.
Okay.
We want to keep them. We believe there's no better city in the nation. You got IU Health expanding, the convention center expansion, all under one roof. These prospects seamlessly walk. The media seamlessly walk. Why move this? It's not broken.
Starbucks gets a little hot sometimes. I don't know if you heard about this. Starbucks, there was
head on a swivel.
There's a little bit of
I saw that. I didn't.
Yeah, it was real, but that's not normal here in India.
Confirmed.
Hospitality is the Hoosier way. We host events and conventions literally weekly. The city's used to it. The Indy 500 is the biggest sporting event in Connor. It got Connor. It got Connor.
Got him.
It got Connor. He was
That
trying.
bite got me.
He thought he had it.
He got me. He got him.
Yeah, it got him.
I didn't have it, but it feels good.
Yeah,
I love it. Whoa.
Yeah. Whoa!
Oh, man.
Yeah.
We got you a napkin if you need it.
Yeah.
No. I enjoy
They got him.
That's Indiana looking out. But the Indianapolis 500 is the largest sporting event on earth every single year.
Period.
Why do you think this place is built? You said a convention, everything like that, but I think it's the people, too. I think the people are very, very used to outsiders coming in, taking care, and then saying, hey, we'll see you next year or something like that. Don't you?
We're sometimes an underdog city. We don't mind that. We like to, achieve higher. It's the people. People make the place, Pat. The infrastructure, we're literally built to host major sporting events and conventions, but it's our people. It's our residents. They're hospitable. It's part of our DNA. And so when that visitor comes, whether it's an international media member, a prospect's family, we welcome them. 2024, busiest year in tourism history in the city of Indianapolis.
Welcome back.
Okay. Now,
welcome back. People won't talk about it nationally, but like COVID, whenever the world stops, cities that host things really, really took we took a devastating blow from the world stopping, not being able to host and not having all these things.
Right.
So us being all the way back, congratulations to you, your team, and everybody. Honestly.
Thank you. It's when you have Pacer Sports and Entertainment and the Colts, when you have the NCAA headquartered here, there's a lot of trust. And the oldest sports commission in the nation, the Indiana Sports Corps, we just keep picking away at what events we want. By the way, we'd love to have the draft. We're in conversations.
Let's have Commish, let's get that one done.
Right?
Why not?
Commish, let's get that one done.
Love to have another college football playoff national championship. And with the WNBA All-Star game bouncing here, could not pick a better year and time in Indianapolis history to have that event.
Yeah, especially with 22. Yeah, she's pretty good. Mad Mel has a question for you, Chris.
Yes.
If you were to bring one restaurant to downtown Indianapolis that maybe we don't have yet, because everyone knows, Elmo's is iconic. If you don't want to get super dressed up, maybe you go to Harry and Izzy's instead. If you're a scumbag like a couple of the guys we work with, you're going to go over to Hooters.
Yeah, sure.
Out of business.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, exactly. Rest in peace. So, but is there one restaurant or attraction, let's say, that you're trying to bring to the downtown area?
That's a great question. We'd love to get. There's this technology called Cosm. It's like the Sphere in Vegas.
Those are awesome.
Okay, we've been eyeing that.
Those are awesome.
We're a sports-minded city. You could sit and watch these major sporting events.
And we got buildings down here that'll certainly be able to, that could feasibly get that in there.
Exactly. If I had to have a restaurant concept, though, I'd call it Reggie's. Reggie Miller, Reggie Wayne's. Sure. You'd have a restaurant in downtown Indy called Reggie's. They'd cook. They'd serve things up. Iconic Reggie across the board. I think that would do well here.
Yeah, the name Reggie gets chanted at basically any sport that happens here in Indianapolis. Need the Colts to get good again.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. I hear you.
Keep
I hear
hoping.
you.
He's from Boston.
Well,
I also just watched the game.
Yeah, but he lives here in Indianapolis, loves the city.
Yeah, want them to do well. Pay taxes for us to come here.
Thank you. Thank you.
No problem.
Go ahead.
Are his footballs inflated or deflated?
Got him. That was proven. Pull up the article. That was proven
Bill
to be
Nye,
a
a
witch
science guy who's a model now. Did you see him doing model?
Exactly, he is a model.
He is. Okay, Chris, what's next for Indianapolis?
Well, I tell you what, we're expanding the city. We want that WNBA All-Star game to be the best ever. We want that to catapult us into the future. As I mentioned, we're putting about $3 billion in new tourism-related infrastructure downtown, making it bigger and better. We want to hold on to the combine. We want to attract the draft, and we really, really want the college football playoff national championship to come back.
Is there an MLS team coming?
Not yet. We're in discussions.
Hey, that's big. That's a big deal, right?
Yeah. The mayor of Indianapolis has led those discussions with the idea that we could have an MLS team, and it was reported this week the commissioner was here, MLS commissioner, to kick the tires and see the city again. So we believe sports is in our nature and our culture, and we could do well with an MLS team.
Okay, so as the executive vice president of the tourist group,
you got it.
Visit Indy.
You got it.
What are you running for mayor next? What's the what is?
No.
You just like helping the city? You're from, like, what is how'd you end up here?
Pike High School, Butler University. Was in Hawaii for a couple of years helping Hawaii tourism.
That was probably sweet.
Tough job.
Great gig. Which island?
Oahu.
You're on Oahu?
Oahu. That's where my mom's side has been, and we have family there, and so came
you're
back.
Oos? I didn't know you were an Oos.
Yeah, I got raised here, summers in Hawaii. Raised here, summers in Hawaii.
Guy's an Oos, obviously.
I think you should have spent summers here and maybe winters in Hawaii.
That's true.
Football, though.
Had to go to school and football.
True.
But Indy's my home.
Forgot about those things.
I love being an underdog and competing with other major cities to try to get these events like the Combine and proving what we built here.
So you love repping for the city.
Love it. Love it.
It feels like a lot of people do. I got a chance to. Obviously, there's Visit Indy. Then there's the Indy 500 Festival, folks.
Yes.
I just learned of the CIB.
Yep.
I just learned of that.
They own these facilities. They do an incredible job.
The guy, Craig, my dude. I don't know if he's here or not. I think he has.
Craig.
Craig's the man.
Helps run this place.
Yes, he does.
Make sure it's sparkling.
So the NFL and the NFL Network people, obviously fantastic folks, forced me to do a site survey, even though we had agreed that we would be able to do our show from here. Sure. So I come down and do a site survey, and Craig from Indianapolis is the one showing me around. It's not somebody from the NFL. I'm like, Craig, who do you work for? That's literally what I said to him, because if it was NFL people, I was about to be like, come on. Like, what are we even doing here? We already agreed to be here. We're in a stadium. There's enough room for us to set up some seats wherever it is. Craig's like, I work for the CIB here in Indianapolis, which is the City Improvement Board or whatever. I say, you're an Indy guy. He goes, yeah. I go, is there going to be a spot? Like, why were they acting like there wasn't a spot? He goes, yeah, we got enough room. No problem at all. And he was like, we walk up here, and he goes, do you want to just use the horseshoe set or whatever? And I'm like, is that available? He's like, absolutely. And I was like, yes, we would. We would. Like, this quickest site survey of all time, and it got much better. I think we would have been somewhere.
This is prime.
Prime. We are so lucky. Beautiful stadium, perfect place, and perfect people, I think, is why I love the state so much.
Listen, and thank you for all you do. You spent a lot of time in this building.
Come on.
In the last couple of weeks, months, years,
yes.
And you're an advocate. You're not bashful about being from here. In fact, some of your colleagues have relocated here.
All of them have, which is why he's so happy to pay taxes here.
And we'll take those taxes and make sure that we keep growing the city and restaurants and museums and more sporting events.
That's all we ask.
You're a big Indy booster, and you carry a lot of influence. And when people hear that Pat loves Indy,
how could you not, brother? Literally, how could you not? I'm very lucky to be here.
And you're raising your family here?
And my wife's from here. My baby girl was born here. A lot of our families have started here. A lot of Hoosier babies around our business.
We won't tell them that.
And we're lucky and thankful for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, he's just completely said the opposite there. Don't listen. He's
My
from
daughter
Pittsburgh.
was born here, but I'll tell her she was born in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, okay, he's from Pittsburgh. That's a lot of pride in Pittsburgh. Very similar type people, but obviously Indianapolis is fantastic. And Chris, great work. We appreciate it.
Hey, Pat, thank you. Thanks for having me on, guys. Enjoy this shrimp cocktail.
Oh, hell yeah.
Great.
Delicious. Keep doing it, Chris. Keep doing it, Chris.
Great to meet you. Pleasure. Thank you for everything,
Chris.
Thank you, man.
Palate cleanser there.
Come on. Appreciate you, Chris. Yeah, no problem, dude.
Cocktail's delightful.
Hey, Chris is a real deal.
He looks cool.
He's the one. He's the one that's doing like when we're pitching for the Super Bowl. He's the guy that's, when we're making pitches for the NCAA. He's the guy that's a part of the
on the pavement.
Yeah, he's the guy.
He's a cool dude.
I don't think I've maybe met him one time before at an event because he's like he's on the move.
He's everywhere.
That's Chris football.
Yeah, bingo.
Loves the city of Indianapolis.
Cosm down here.
Cosm would be
so
sweet.
cool.
I don't know how he's going to get it done, but get it done, Chris.
I don't know if it'd be down here. It'd probably be up north, but yeah.
All you would need, all you would literally need is just big space with a bunch of LED boards, right?
Correct.
I think so.
You know what it is? Technically, should we try to turn this into a Cosm before tomorrow?
Or relocate the team. Use the whole entire thing.
What's that?
Put 15 Cosms in this building.
Oh, you're saying this is the space to do it?
Yeah. Why not?
No, there's buildings right down over there that need to be repurposed.
You could have a bunch of them.
All right, hell of a day today, boys. A lot of guests. A lot of conversation.
That's Combine.
That is Combine. Somebody in a suit over there. They look very important. How about the owner of St. Elmo?
Yeah, what a beast.
Craig, yeah, you got a little filet sliders.
Yeah, I wanted to shake his hand. I go to his Northside location all the time.
Yeah, Harry and Izzy's?
No, 1933.
Oh, yeah, which is another great offer.
Fantastic.
All these being available on DoorDash is crazy, too.
You can't wait to eat one of those.
One of these?
Yeah.
Coming at you.
Sliders.
There's a toothpick in it.
Yep. Set hut.
That one's good.
Set hut.
That had some cheese on it.
Toothpick on both sides.
Oh, wow. No.
Yeah, both sides.
Better because my bun fell off.
Are they exposed?
Yeah, I don't think I should do that.
Oh, it's okay.
It's just fucking
Bingo.
Christ.
That's all we needed anyways.
Oh, my God.
It's a filet right at the guy. Great catch. Great catch. How is that filet? St. Elmo's steak we just got. You go to steak places, I think the first time I went to a nice steakhouse, grew up on Texas Roadhouse.
Sure.
Okay? We're going to Texas Roadhouse. That's a big night.
Don't forget Ponderosa's.
Boom. Ponderosa. You're 100% right. Hosses, even if we're going to get.
Yeah, don't forget Hosses.
Yeah, that's big night out. Okay, we're going to Ponderosa, Texas Roadhouse.
That was the triangle.
That was it. Hey, birthday, where are we headed? Well, Texas Roadhouse is all booked up. We got to go to Ponderosa. Ponderosa booked up. We got to go to Hosses.
Maybe even the ground round if we were feeling.
There's a chance you could sneak in there.
Spicy.
So then, college at Morgantown, I'm going to Cheddar's, and there's not really steak place. So I get in the NFL my rookie year. I get invited to go to a dinner here in Indianapolis at Harry and Izzy's, which is St. Elmo's brother-sister restaurant. I don't know what it is. Same exact ownership, same food.
Same kitchen.
Just different vibe. Same exact kitchen.
Yeah, just next to each other.
Connect to it. It's just a different vibe. It's like a sports bar, a little bit more young, and then St. Elmo's is historic.
Black tie.
You walk in there, it's like you're part of something, and that's why everybody comes to Indianapolis do I need to go to St. Elmo's? It's if you've never been, yeah, you definitely have to go. It's an experience. It's part of the city, but also Harry and Izzy's, same food, a little bit. I think Peyton, part of Harry and Izzy's as well, potentially, so he was the one that was hosting it. So we go in there, we walk down this back room, and I'm getting my first taste of these real steaks. And I'm like, dude, this place is awesome. And then the shrimp cocktail comes out, and I've only seen this in movies. Like, oh, shrimp cocktail, like going to a moment here. And you get like grocery store ones where it's a plastic dipper in there, and you get the little thing.
Yeah.
So everybody, all the rookies that were invited to that thing, and it's the reason why we're invited. Looking back on it, the only reason we're invited was to get this and just take a big chunk and just, and then everybody just cry their eyes out. And it's like, it's so good, but it'll get you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it'll get
No
you.
doubt.
And you go back again. It's almost like an intoxicating feeling almost. Like it's like an adrenaline rush, and then you eat it again.
I love crying when I eat it. Legit. That's part of it.
All right, Mad Mel, big takeaway as we wrap up this glorious Thursday from the NFL Scouting Combine, presented by Microsoft Copilot, which is Microsoft's AI.
Biggest takeaway, very excited to see, what the athletes do out here on the field, but I'll be honest, biggest takeaway is I could eat 100 of those fucking filet sliders.
Yeah.
Not even kidding. Cooked to perfection. Set hot! Thank you. Medium rare. I don't know if it's medium rare.
It's medium rare.
Medium plus.
Yeah.
These are fucking delicious.
All right.
And if you just eat them, just the filet, like you can eat 1,000 of those, not gain a pound.
What do you think? 2 ounce piece here?
Yeah, 2 ounce.
2 ounce piece of steak.
Aim high.
So hot.
Oh! I had it. It dropped down because I had to come forward for it.
At least it didn't hit the ground.
No, I'm saying I couldn't.
All right, we got to get out of here. We literally have to turn off the lights.
Oh, because
the thing's going on. Remember the NFL was like, hey, make sure his lights are off by 3 o'clock. We don't want any scouts getting any lights in their eyes.
Sure.
And I thought they were being dramatic like everything else with this network over here. And then I got here and I saw 1,000 lights and I'm like, all right.
Yeah, fair enough.
Exceptionally bright.
The scout suites are now full. They were not full yesterday. They are now all full.
Fans have also filed in. We're about to have a damn show here on NFL Network and NFL Plus as Rich Eisen and Daniel Jeremiah will officially kick off the on-field exercises of the future of the NFL. We'll be back here tomorrow. I think we got a good one tomorrow.
Yeah.
I believe Brandon Bean of the Buffalo Bills will stop by.
Boom.
I believe there's a few others that are going to make their way over here. It's an interesting time that we're on because they're in the middle of interviews and medical while practice is taking place. So anybody that's able to make time to chat with us, we're incredibly grateful for. And also, we'll feel like we'll try to do our due diligence and get the most out of it.
Hell yeah.
That's right. Because we got a lot of questions for these guys, too.
Tons.
Not a doubt.
Mad Mel, are you going to be back tomorrow? Or have you has Ty texted you at all? Do you know?
Haven't got any text or anything. You tell me.
He only has a landline, so it's tough to get text.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
We'll call you. They didn't bring a pumpkin pie up here.
Yeah, it's kind of horse shit, but, like I said, those steaks. Holy fuck.
Very good.
Yeah. I appreciate Mike Foss. I think we got McAllister's on the way. Guess what? You're playing second fiddle, pal. Okay? Thank you, though, Mike.
Dan Morgan, general manager of the Carolina Panthers, right over here.
Just stacked.
Just absolutely jacked. Talking to Bucky Brooks, obviously.
How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Dan? Great work down there, dude. I don't know if you can hear us.
All right, Dan.
I'll go fuck myself, Dan.
Want a steak slider, Dan?
What up, big dog? How you doing, man? Somebody thinks on this side now I'm talking to them. What up, dude? I can't see it because of the lights, but what up, dude?
Can't see. It's tough.
Diving in for some more?
Oh, we.
Little napkin.
I can't see because of the lights. Hey, you got it. Good to see you, man. I don't know who it is. I can't see anybody.
Good vibes.
Good vibes, though. Great
That's all-
vibes.
that's
Great
all you-
vibes
that's
out of
all
you.
you
I
really
appreciate
want.
that. All right, let's get the hell out of here. All the boys in the truck, great work today, boys.
Right, boys.
I think today much smoother than yesterday, huh?
Yeah, my mic worked.
Second day normally is.
Lights, LED board here.
Everything.
Setup or easy in. And you talk about Mike Foss with McAllister's. Mike Foss let Tyrese Haliburton just sit outside for about 20 minutes earlier.
Crazy.
We did.
Foss, way to go, bub.
Hey, baby Mike.
All right, let's get the hell out of here. Be your friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. We're in this thing together. Never forget it, okay? Team on me. Team on 3. 1, 2, 3. Team. Goodbye.